Actually, make sure to, did you just immediately burp? All right,
Really
well,
coming in
No.
yeah, we're coming in strong today. Hello, everyone, and welcome one and all to Once Upon a Tabletop, where we tell fantasy tales using tabletop RPGs. I am your host and game master, Shane Rachels, joined today by our lovely Season 1 cast. Say hello, everybody.
Hello to everybody. Hi.
Ah,
That's y'all are gonna have to get better at that at some point. But it
we
works.
might not.
And you know, it happens. We are here to do episode 1. We are here to start the game, to actually get into the story and do our stuff. But first, we have a quick note. During the episode itself, we won't be interacting with chat. You won't see us stop at mid-game and have a conversation and stuff because, you know, that kind of drags everybody out of it, so we're not doing that. We will be keeping an eye on chat, however, so remember the golden rule. Keep it civil, keep it safe. If you do want to chat with us, stick around for bonus action. Just because the episode is done doesn't mean the show is over. We'll be back a few minutes after the episode ends to talk about the episode, chat, thank our followers, do all that stuff. So please look forward to that. We don't have any other notes, so we're going to do a question. And just because I want to catch this on stream, this is for the cast. Are you guys ready?
We're about to have to be, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have a choice but to be ready, but you know.
I have a mouthful of food. I'm ready to go.
Okay, well. In the immortal words of Sam Reich, the only way to begin is by beginning, so let's begin. I'm going to be monologuing a bit at the start, so you guys will have some time to prepare yourselves. I'll cue you in when it's time. Okay, let's go. So welcome, one and all, to the city of Astra. Located on the western edge of Indamira, built on a series of cliffs that overlook the sea, the city of Astra is a very different place than it used to be. Gates that once stood open and wide and welcoming now stand closed and barred and piled high with a thick layer of dust and debris that indicates that it has not been open in quite some time. Banners and pennants that used to flap in the breeze displaying house colors and family crests are absent. And buildings that were once lauded for their creativity and aesthetic now stand stripped, with nothing but doors and windows and square blocks that provide much more function than form. But in the 209 years since the Veilbreak incident, since the event that set the world into the chaos that it is today, one thing about Astra has not changed, and that is its people. An eclectic mix of humans and elves and dwarves and dragonborn, fairies, plasmoids, pretty much everything you can think of. The people continue to move on and make it day to day using the power of cooperation and a spark of hope. As the shadows lengthen near sunset, and that sun sets towards the part of the sky where the sky meets the sea, the people of Astra begin to finish up their jobs for the day and move on to the area of the city known as the residential district. These people will talk, these people will chat and gossip, these people will sing as they move towards their residential district in this big crowd. You'll see teenagers that will bump shoulders and have awkward displays of affection, while older couples chuckle while they're holding hands behind them. You'll see kids dart in and out amongst the crowd, causing chaos and ruckus like kids do, and you'll hear the angry shouts of adults as they get tripped up by these kids. You'll see all of this and more, and there are many stories to tell, many paths we could follow from this area, but we're going to focus for just a moment on one very specific group in this chaos here. This is a group of people who are standing on doorsteps and searching the crowd for faces of loved ones. Some of these individuals are parents, mothers and fathers. Some of them are grandparents or siblings or even children, waiting to see the faces of the people they care about. Sometimes, most of the time, in fact, they will see the faces they're looking for, and as they approach, they'll give them a big hug and a pat on the back, or admonishing statements like, you tried your best, or maybe next time, or something like that. But there is a group amongst this group that do not see the faces they're looking for. These are the people, rather than having sadness or despair or anything like that on their faces, they give proud nods and determined smiles. And as the crowd finally disperses, as the sun just barely sets behind the horizon and most of the city grows dark, these people enter their homes, close their doors, and the nightly routine of all these individuals and their families and stuff continue. This morning, the Guardian Corps sent out a call asking for volunteers to help defend the city from horrors beyond our realm. The individuals who came home tonight are those individuals who failed the series of rigorous tests, both physical and mental, that meet the standards that the Guardian Corps requires. Those who do not return home tonight have been accepted and will spend tonight and most of the next few weeks living in the Guardian Corps complex on the northwestern side of town. There they'll be trained and given the equipment and items and knowledge and stuff that they need to defend the city. It is in the Guardian Corps barracks, behind a door at the end of a hallway marked with the number 7, that our story will truly begin. The room itself is fairly plainly furnished. There are 4 beds, 1 on each of the left and right walls, and 2 on the back wall. Each bed has a foot locker at its feet, open to show that it is, there's nothing inside and people can store whatever they would like in there. There's a circular table with 6 chairs in the center of the room, and that's it. Nothing else in the room. The only interesting thing of note is that there's a woman sitting at the table. It's facing the door. She's a tiefling woman, red skin, a mess of dark curly hair on her head, and 2 little horns that kind of poke out just barely from that mess of hair. She wears a black skirt, knee length, and a blouse that is buttoned all the way to the top, as is proper, she will tell you. She is also accessorized with a bunch of little red ribbons all over her outfit because a girl needs to accessorize. She doesn't do much for a little while, but fidget. She plays around with the papers in front of her, reordering them or looking back and forth. She brushes imaginary dirt off of her shoulders. She messes with the hems of her skirt and kind of, moves imaginary wrinkles around and so on and so forth. And the entire time, she is constantly checking the door. She's waiting for something to happen. And eventually, something does. There's a series of footsteps on the other side of the door, and the doorknob turns, and the door opens. And our first character steps into view, Sammy. Would you like to describe your character and tell us what you do as you enter your barracks? You're muted.
So I'm guessing this is like we just come straight here after the trials.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So I'm probably a little dirty, a little ready for a shower, but wearing just some casual clothing. Got my little satchel of things with me. I'm gonna walk through the doorway. I'm gonna see this woman. I'm gonna say, "Wow! Oh my goodness! I'm just absolutely rapt with excitement to be here. Hi. What's your name? Please do tell me all about you."
Oh, hi. I'm Torch. I'm your support sergeant. She kind of stands up really fast, and when she does, she kind of knocks the chair over behind her, and then she turns around and grabs it and shoves it into the place where it's supposed to be. And goes, "Oh, okay. Sorry. Hi." And she reaches out a hand to shake.
I reach out and I shake her hand very vigorously, very excitedly.
Okay. She does not like that, and it is very obvious.
I pull back. My apologies. I'm simply just overcome with joy. I've been trying so hard, and to finally get in, it's just enough about me. So,
Uh,
what all do I need to do? I'm sure
uh,
you're here for a reason.
of course. We're here to meet the captain, and then sorry. And we're here to make sure that I'm sorry. I was kind of hoping you were first. She kind of reaches over to the table and picks up this stack of papers and kind of looks over them. Because I didn't really want to have this conversation in front of everybody else too. You do know the conditions of you being accepted into the Corps, right? Mr. Steelgrip gave you everything you needed to know there.
Maybe not exactly.
Okay.
Don't remind me.
It says here that you are to cause no trouble, especially involving your situation with your parents, and that if you do cause too much trouble and Mr. Steelgrip hears about it, you'll be expelled immediately.
I'm gonna pause, take a small step forward, and ask. Now, in what regards would this cause any issues? I mean, technically the situation was settled, was it not?
Well, yes, but you know there are kind of rumors around the town and stuff that well,
Hmm.
that you might be a little bit rambunctious involving everything that happened, and the thing is, like, you know, the Guardian Corps really needs to focus on the job at hand. We need to focus on the defense of the city, and we can't be distracted by other things.
Now, what could possibly distract me from the protection of my people? I am simply here to do my job and move up and become a role model for other people.
Okay, as
That's
long
the
as
way of
you
things.
stick to that, then we'll have no problems. But Mr. Steelgrip really just wanted me to make sure that that you know that in case any other problems arise later on. And
Now, he should know I won't have any issues as long as no one brings them to me.
um, okay,
Hmm. Delightful. So glad we could get that out of the way.
all right. Yeah, you're first, so you can choose which bed you would like. All of them are currently available. Uh,
Hmm.
and around that
I just go
time,
straight over to the right by the window.
no windows.
Okay, to the right side, furthest to the wall.
Yeah, no windows. You were deep in the building at this point. Um,
Damn.
Around that time, there's another series of footsteps, and the door opens again. Zin. Steven, would you like to introduce your character? Give us a description and tell us what you do when you're in the room.
All right, a 5 foot tall dwarf walks in. Bald head, reddish braided beard. Walks in, stroking his beard. With his robe black. He has a hood on. He's just walking. Um, yeah. Which bed is mine?
Oh, you see the tiefling girl. She kind of spins her head around real quick, looking both sides. I think that Mimi has chosen that one, so you must be Zin, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any of the other ones are available. You can choose, I guess. Welcome to the Guardian Court. She kind of like bounces up to you a little bit and holds out a hand for you to shake.
I will not.
Oh, okay.
Where's Aggie? Has she been here?
Not. She kind of shifts her papers around in her hand, like not yet, but around that time, you'll hear another series of footsteps. These a lot faster, a lot thinner, and the door opens. Mowgli, would you like to introduce your character?
Aggie is 12 foot tall.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Yeah, don't worry. It's going to make sense. He is 12 foot tall. He has a very flamboyant colored patch cloak. And he very stylishly flourishes in the room, saying, "It's me, Oh, it's only three of you," and he'll just drop the illusion and become his 3 foot tall self. I'd be like, "I thought there's gonna be more people here. Cool. Zin, you bald bastard, how you doing?" And he'll walk over to Zin.
Okay. Torch will kind of glance, like you can tell she was kind of scared when you walked into the room, and then she'll kind of glance back and forth. Oh, okay. Welcome in, Mr. Aggie.
Who are you?
I'm Torch, your support sergeant.
What does that mean?
It means if you require support, you come to me, and I am the liaison between you and the captain. I'm sort of
Can you
your
get me a pie?
boss, I think. A pie?
A pie, yeah.
Maybe at dinner. It should be in just a
Is
little
it not
bit.
dinner time?
It should be ready for the individuals who joined today in just a few minutes. We'll have to meet the captain first, but then we'll go. If there's anything left, I can get you a pie. Yeah.
I require pie.
Require? I
Yes.
will try my best.
Okay.
Wait, what kind of support can you offer?
If
Pie.
you need equipment or anything else, then I'm the person to come to. I can make sure that you have what you need besides what you've already been provided, your weapons and the potions, and the rift disruption devices. If you need anything else, I can make sure to acquire that for you. Have it ready for.
I need 300 feet of rope.
300 feet, and you see she immediately turns around and starts taking notes.
I need a pan flute.
Pan flute.
Yes.
A pan flute.
Yes.
Are you stepping in my territory, dwarf?
Aggie? Not
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, okay. She begins to make notes, writing down pan flute. As that happens, there are no footsteps that happen this time, but the door opens again. Courtney.
Okay, so Raylith flies in. She's a 2 foot tall, very bright light blue fairy wearing kind of a white leather, almost like corset looking top, and it's a full dress, so like that's just the top, and then like the dress is like flowy, loose, easy to move around in. With like shoulder pads and like wrist guards. As she will float on down, or bracers, not breast guards, but she will float into the room super excitedly, see the room, and be like, oh, is this it? Is this where we're gonna stay here? Okay. Hi, I'm Raylith. Just looking at everybody.
Hi
Um,
there.
Say it.
I'm Mimi.
Which bed's not taken?
What?
Go ahead and
that's
find you
just-
one. I think they're distracted.
She'll just float on over to one of the, like, I guess you said there's 4 against one wall, so she'll just plop down. I guess she sees your stuff sitting on like the one area where you've claimed yours, so she'll just like plop down on the next one, or plop their stuff down, and then kind of just like float back over
Yeah.
and
So
go to
there's
try to
how
shake
many-
hands with everybody.
there's
How many beds are in this room?
So there's 4 beds total. There's 1 on each of the left and right walls, and then 2 on the back wall.
Okay.
So, I guess Aggie and I would take the other 2 then.
Okay, so the one on the left wall, and then the one on the left on the back. Okay.
Rayla,
as
I have a
you-
question about fairies real quick.
Hmm?
I have a question for you, Raylith.
Oh, okay.
Since you fly and all,
Mhm.
do you know how to walk?
She will lock eyes, slowly land, and just take 2 steps forward, still outstanding her hand to try to shake. Yes, we do.
Awesome. And I will slap your hand like I'm giving someone a high five, or it could also be taken as I'm just slapping your hand away. Nice to meet you.
Same. And then she'll slowly just move over to the next closest person, which I guess would be Zen right now.
Did you fly?
She walk.
Damn it.
Mowgli already
I'm-
trying to think how to fuck with people. I like it.
I'm sorry. Don't mind him. He's yeah. But nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Congratulations, by the way, on passing the trials and whatnot. Not everyone gets through. It's actually a really low percentage of people who get through. It's very nice, though.
Oh, and you made it through.
Yeah. And she's going to just start, like, kind of going off on the statistics of, like, how often people actually pass, get accepted, and everything else, just, like, rambling, just super excitedly. Like,
Oh,
yeah, and
what
we're
a
some of those
nerd.
people. We're, like, 4 of those people who did that. Also, there's a 5th person. Hi! And she's going to, like, actually fly over to Torch as well. And I don't know where you're still at the bed area, I guess, or some. No, you were talking to Torch. So you're probably closer. But yeah, she'll fly over to Torch and Samus.
Hi, and she'll shake your hand very gently, as to not like flop you around because you're a fairy. And she'll be like, actually, I didn't pass the tests. I just work here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's sorry. Part of the being a support sergeant is I won't I can't fight. Not me. That's not what I do here. I'm here to help.
You can't
this
or you won't.
support sergeant. Support. I'm here for support.
So if like
So
you're
if you
attacked, you
can't
just won't fight.
I've got legs. I can run very fast.
Are you our butler?
Well, no, I'm sort of your. And then the door opens again. No footsteps. And someone enters the room. You see a human man with red hair, stands about 6 feet tall. He has his hairs really loose and messy. No helmet or anything, although it looks like he's been sweating because his hair is somehow like very wet. He has a very short kind of almost like goatee, but it's more full around the around his cheeks and stuff where it comes down, like a pointed beard. It's only a couple of inches long. A kind of too big nose. He's wearing what looks like plate mail, with a shield and a sword strapped to his side. And as he enters, Torch immediately stops mid-sentence and practically screams at the top of her lungs, "Officer on deck!"
I straighten up and get in a position.
Yeah, Raylith, if there's like any kind of salute or any kind of known thing to like respect like a higher officer, she would be doing that right now.
Just standing at attention wherever you are. What about
Aggie will lean
and
over
Zen?
to Zin and go, what are we supposed to do? Who's that?
I don't know. Just stand at attention.
I don't know what that means.
As this man enters
Arms
and looks
together.
across and sees Aggie kind of leaning over and whisper, he says, "All right then. Well, as far as I can see, we've got at least one troublemaker here in the group. Although I must admit, given your kind of looks over at Torch dossiers, I think they're called. I expected more." And he kind of walks straight up to Aggie, kind of towering over the top of him, looks down. Are you going to get in position or not, son?
Huh.
Feet together.
This is an awkward situation we have here, huh?
Feet together, son.
All right.
Arms by your sides. Hands cupped.
Hands what?
Cupped.
Cup? Like little bowls?
Yes.
Okay. Little bowls by my side.
Head
Yep.
straight forward. Mouth shut. Understood?
Mm-hmm.
Good. You do not move for 10 minutes. We get used to this. Everyone else at ease. All right then. Welcome to Squad 7. You've all managed to pass the tests. You've all managed to show at least some little bit of potential. You've all managed to show that you might have the capability, if not the skill or the knowledge, to help protect our city. And that is commendable, at the very least. But one thing is for certain, not every one of you will manage to make it out of training. You'll be sent home, you'll be expelled, you'll be killed. Whatever the case may be, the four of you need to look at each other and understand that there are some faces here that will not be here in a couple of weeks. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Rayleigh will nod. And also, just
Good. You there, Fairy.
Mhm.
Why do we fight?
to protect the city.
Protect the
To
city
protect the
from
city.
what?
She's supposed to know all this. Oncoming threats from beyond the rift.
False. You, dwarf. What do we protect the city from?
Chaos.
Wrong again.
Anything.
You. He looks over at Mimi. Answer the question.
Disorder?
Also incorrect. We're going to have a lot to teach, lots to get through, and we only have a few weeks to make sure it happens. Do you do that, Aggie? Is that the action you take?
Is he looking at me?
I mean, he's standing in the front of the room looking at everyone. He hasn't left the door, really.
I guess not. He would just be like,
You see, he definitely glances at you at the corner of his eye. What we protect the city from is fear. It's everywhere. You'll see it in every instance of a person interacting with another person. You'll see it in the way people walk, in the way people move about, in the way they protect each other, in the way they keep each other in view at all times in the city. This may be something you haven't seen yet. I will make sure that you see it. You will see every instance of it, and if necessary, you will do what you can to combat it. That may be fighting creatures from beyond the rift. There may be other things as well. It could be helping a loved one pick up the bodies of their families after an attack. It could be making sure that someone can find someone who they believe has gone missing. Whatever it may be, it will help defend against the fear. Fear will drive us all mad. If we are scared, if the families of the people who live in our city are uncertain and do not have the confidence to make it through to the next day, our city will fall. Just as quickly to fear as it will to any rift that opens. You must understand this. If you do not, you will not make it out of here. Will make myself clear.
Mimi kind of pauses and is. She looks like she really, really wants to ask a question. Permission to speak?
Granted.
So, does ensuring that fear doesn't creep in and do any worse harm than needs be to things, does that involve solving anything at any cost, even if it's not a real end?
Lost. Very specific word in that sentence there. You know what the priority of the Guardian Corps is? What your mission parameters are?
Well, from your explanation, ensuring the protection of the people from fear.
Correct. Priority 1, protect the city. Priority 2, survive.
Okay, understood.
Do you?
Well enough.
Around this time, Torch kind of steps up to the side of the captain, who has not introduced himself yet. That is important. And she kind of tugs on the edge of his shirt a little bit, and then hands him a little card. And he kind of looks down at her and goes, "I told you, I'm not reading that." She goes, "Sorry. Can you step outside with me for just a minute, please? Please, Arthur, please." He goes, Arthur, you called me Arthur?" And around this time, she just kind of grabs his arm and then drags him out of the room, leaving you all alone in the room for a second. She closes the door. What do you do?
His name's Arthur. Sorry.
Rayla is scared to be disrespectful, so she is silently standing in the exact same position he left her in because she does not want to be scolded or told she's wrong again. So she's just waiting.
Mimi's just going over to her bed, still thinking, still pondering.
What
Kind of lost in
does
thought.
Mimi take from that conversation? Specifically, the priorities. I want to know if you actually understood what that means. Priority 1, protect the city. Priority 2,
Priority 2,
survive.
survive.
What does that mean
Well-
to Mimi?
For Mimi, what I'm gathering, number 1 happened, even if it wasn't for her, in the sense of what happened with her family. She doesn't get any answers. There's no nothing. It just stopped the fear. And to survive, well, that's all I can do to keep going and get more answers.
Okay. Interesting, because that's not the point I was trying to make. What does Zin take away from that?
Interesting.
Then would take a stance that's something like,
You're asking us
But I-
too hard of questions right now.
then I'll plant my feet like stone and let none pass. As in to say that if the city stands, either the city stands or I fall.
Okay.
Because it's to understand that walls could be rebuilt, but people can't.
Okay. Also not what I was going for. What about Raylith? I'm pretty sure she would understand.
I mean, city comes first, period. Like, there's a lot of people who don't make it through. And we want to survive, but not if the city's going down. It is us, like, on the line.
There we go. Priority 1, protect the city. Priority 2, survive. Even if it costs you your life, priority 1 comes first. And after a few minutes of kind of going through this, the actions and stuff that you're taking in the room while Torch and Arthur have left, after a few minutes of thinking about it, some longer than others, Mimi, it does kind of settle on you guys that that's what he meant. Because you specifically mentioned cost, and that cost may be the ultimate cost, the cost of your life, the cost of your existence, to continue the existence of the city and its people as a whole, rather than yours. And that does kind of settle on you guys. I'm surprised none of you went to go listen at the door, because I figured that was going to happen. But I have one single question before we continue. Aggie, did you move?
Oh yeah, immediately after he walked out, I walked away from where I was standing and probably like sat on the bed.
Okay. The door slams back open. Arthur comes in. Excuse you,
attention.
Mr. What was it? Did not get your name. What I Torch. Aggie, sir. Aggie. That's right. Aggie. Can't help but notice 10 minutes have not passed. And you are not in your correct position, sir.
You're absolutely right, Arthur, Captain Sir.
I've been informed by our support sergeant that apparently I may be going around things the wrong way. Again. The Guardian Corps has let me know that my way of doing things is unacceptable, apparently. And they are afraid that I will scare you off. I need you all to understand that I have been with the Guardian Corps for longer than most of you have been alive. I continue to make it through. I continue to close the rift, to defend the city, and make sure that I make it home at the end of the day. I wish to impart upon you all the knowledge that would allow you to do the same. I'm not here to scare you, though I will do that from time to time. Take my words with a grain of salt if you wish, but know that everything I give you will be invaluable to your continued survival. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Captain Arthur, sir.
Good. Before the dinner, we were going on.
I have a question about Arthur. You said he's been closing rifts longer than we've been alive. Does that mean he's a captain and he is still going out of the field and like closing rifts and all that?
Yes, actually. Let's take a moment to talk about Arthur, because by the time they mentioned his name, you probably would have recognized him. He's probably one of the most prolific members of the Guardian Corps there is. He is a captain by his own skill and nothing else. He is quite possibly the most well-known member of the Guardian Corps outside of Boreal Steelgrip, who is its leader, the Colonel. He is well-known and very well-respected wherever he goes in the city at any given time. And you probably would have not immediately recognized him, but like as soon as his name is said and stuff, it would be quite obvious on who he is.
I'm sorry. Did you just say Steel Grip, or what? Still, that one is
Boreal
a colonel?
Steelgrip. Yep.
And
He's
also
the leader of the
one
Guardian Corps.
that left me the note.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got layers. There's things. Don't worry about it.
Mm,
He's
I'm
an
gathering.
onion.
I'm gathering.
Arthur kind of takes a second, takes a breath, and then says, "Before we go to dinner tonight, I want to take a walk with you. Let's go out into the city, take a patrol real fast. I want to show you all something."
Grab my things.
But Arthur, sir, you told me not to move for 10 minutes, and it's still not 10 minutes.
Consider my previous order paused. We will continue at dinner.
Uh-huh.
Follow me. And he begins to leave the room.
Raylith will. Do we
Oh.
have our weapons and stuff at this point?
Yeah, you'll have your weapon.
Okay. Yeah, she's
you've
gonna
been
make
given your
sure
kit.
that she's armed, given like how these rifts sometimes open. She's prepared at any risk. She's gonna grab her below.
Actually, I checked over everybody's
Follow.
character sheets, but I didn't see, because I think, Mimi, you don't have a weapon, do you? You need to add a great axe to your inventory and equip it.
Oh, did I not add it?
I meant to
Using
bring
a
that
great
up when we
axe?
were talking about the, I'm assuming you use a great axe. It's in your character, right?
Yeah.
You can use something else if you want to, but I assumed a great axe. Everybody else, I think, was...
I always forget which one's bigger, a great axe or a battle axe.
Battle axe isn't an actual thing in D&D.
Oh.
Yeah, hand axes and great
Well,
axes.
then.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, we're good.
So if you all are following Arthur, he leads you through the Guardian complex, out of the barracks and across this large courtyard where you see like training dummies and archery targets and all this other stuff kind of lined up, and then out of the gate to the main Guardian complex and into the city. It begins to take you from the northwestern side of the city, moving around towards the north along the outside wall. About 10 minutes maybe of walking, you guys approach a park. These are kind of set up in the city here and there to provide a little bit of greenery and a little bit of room, especially for kids who, need that kind of space and energy and things like that to play and kind of get stuff out of their systems. Because if they just built up, just buildings and stuff around here and there's nowhere for kids to play or for people to even do exercise and stuff like that, wouldn't be great. Right? So there are a few of these kind of scattered around town. It is dark, but the city is lit by a series of ever-burning torches that are placed in these lamp-like structures with a little cover on them. Imagine something like Victorian-style England, if you have any idea what that looks like. And the park itself is fairly well lit. And at the park, you see what appears to be a mother and two children. A boy and a girl, both of them kind of playing around in the field, tossing a ball back and forth between themselves and then tossing it to mom, who kind of tosses it back, and they're kind of, laughing and playing and kind of do stuff. And he kind of stops you guys at a distance, maybe 50, 60 feet from the park itself on the street, and says, "All right, tell me what it is you see here."
I see community and families existing and doing the best with what they have.
All right. Does anybody else see it?
That? No.
What do you see?
Oh. I see the no. I don't think you want to know.
Of course I want
Mainly
to know.
because me as Mowgli can't think of the word I wanted to say, but
All right. Zin, what do you see?
Peace. People who need protection.
Relith?
Children enjoying their lives without fear. And more.
What it is that I plan on teaching you all is to see deeper than you're able to see on the surface. Pay attention to the way the mother moves. Watch her. Never lets the other two children out of her sight, not even for a second. Watch the way the kids move. They always stay into the light, never moving into the dark. Watch the way they throw the ball. That kid, he could definitely throw it further. But they always make sure to do short throws, because to send it any further would be sending his sister into the dark. These are the things you need to learn to see. These are the things you'll need to be able to see in order to help protect the city. Can you see it now that I've pointed it out to you?
Definitely makes it a lot easier once you know it's there.
So, you're out on patrol. You see this. How do you go about protecting? What actions would you take?
Well, something me and my family used to do. Become brighter. Make it a bigger thing. See if you can get more people involved. Still keeping an eye on the area around you, but dissipate that fear. Let them know that at this moment, they are safe. They don't have to hold that.
It's not a terrible way of looking at it, I suppose. More people could help, but it is also more fear you're adding to situation.
What about song and dance?
Potential. The problem with that is if you add too much song and dance, you end up in a situation where you are drawing danger to yourself.
So not having. So there will always be an underlining of fear.
Correct. How do you alleviate it?
Well, at this point, you tell me.
Easy. We denounce ourselves. The city trusts us. The city trusts the Guardian Corps. And if we let them know that we're around, that we are here to protect them in case anything does, and around that time, he freezes. You all freeze. The kids also freeze. The mother freezes. The wind blows through the streets. The time has not stopped, but every one of you stop dead on the spot because you all hear sound. It's a sound that you've been trained since birth to hear. It's a very soft sound. Piece of cloth tearing, running over a piece of broken glass. And you all watch as about 25 feet away from these children and their mom playing, a rift forms in the air. Sickly green, top to bottom, formed in a second, and with a flash, you see several wolf-like creatures emerge from the rift. What's the first thing you do?
I'm running towards the mom and her children.
Yeah, draw the weapon and head in.
Zen, Aggie?
Dashing towards the wolves,
Okay.
letting the mother children know that we're here.
Yeah, yelling for them to get and that we've got this, basic reassuring them that we're trying to alleviate the fear.
Aggie?
Uh,
I need,
You said
I need
several
everybody's
wolf-like-
reaction. Yep.
you said
Aggie's
several
killing
wolf-like
me.
things came through the portal. How far away is the portal?
About 60 feet.
How closely packed together are they?
Fairly closely packed in some places. In fact,
I'll cast a spell.
Let me show you. If everyone will head over to Owlbear. You will have to shrink your token to fit the squares, please. You guys are going to be on the far back side down here. Zoom out a little bit so...
Further down.
Yeah, you guys are going to be on this back right here.
Never mind. I won't cast a spell since they aren't as packed together as I thought.
Yeah. Even as quickly as you all move, Arthur is faster. Within seconds, he is already at the portal, sprinting across. You see Torch is directly behind him. And as she kind of approaches this mother and her two children, she immediately screams at them to get back. And you all follow directly behind, eventually leaning up right here. Arthur, sitting in this area, and he turns towards you and says, "Remember, priority 1. And then he turns and jumps into the portal. What do you all do?
God, what a dick.
I'm moving up closer to knock off some of these people that ended up outside the portal.
Okay. Let's go ahead here and counter. Let's go ahead and roll initiative, please.
That is a digital one you want, right? So it shows up for you.
Yeah, so it shows up for me.
Hey, not bad.
Oh!
You do be pretty good on the initiative. Oh, died was in though.
My initiative hurts me.
As you guys approach, you see Arthur jumps into the portal and leaves you with these creatures. And now that you're in the center of the park and you're actually in the light and you can see these things, I said wolf-like for a reason. The creatures ahead of you look like wolves. They are four-legged and canine, but that is where the difference, or where the similarities end. They have no fur, but instead have this thick hide, black skin that kind of ripples across its body, across these really bulky muscles underneath. And the skin is so tightly stretched and taut that in places it tears, releasing this black ichorish fluid. You see one of these wolves is much larger than the others, and you see that around all of these tears and stuff in their skin where this fluid is leaking out, there are mushrooms. These little, maybe half-inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch mushrooms that are just around every single wound. And you see that when they scream or when they roar or when they make any kind of sound or anything like that, because they don't make normal wolf sounds, there are no barks and growls here. It is terrifying. These things don't have any kind of liquid or anything in their mouth. There's nothing like that. And in fact, it seems dry. They seem thirsty for reasons. Now, as these creatures jump out, as Torch gets these, the mother and children and stands between them kind of off to the side over here in this area, the wolves act first, or one of them does. And they are going to move. Yeah. I think
Where
they're gonna
is
move.
the mother and children?
They're off to the side, kind of over here in this area. Wolf D is going to 5, 6, and go immediately for the easiest target it sees, which is Raylith. Smallest, it's a straggler, so that's how it's going to go. And it's going to make a bite attack at you. Tell me, does a 15 hit?
Just hits, yeah.
Just. You're going to take. Oh no.
Did it roll a crit?
It's max damage. No. That is 8 damage. That is 4 piercing and 4 poison. And I need you to make a strength saving throw for me, please.
That is a 19.
A 19. 19 passes. As this creature comes sprinting across the battlefield and takes a nice chunk out of Raylith, Aggie, you're up.
Aggie will take out his tauntaun and smack it and shoot number or wolf. What's this wolf?
That is
Like,
the
is this-
bigger wolf. It is much larger than the others. Almost more bear-like, really, than wolf. It still has 4 legs, still has that canine kind of head, but it is easily twice the size of the other guys.
I will shoot Starry Wisp at that
Okay.
sucker.
Attack roll.
Does a 20 hit?
20 does hit, yeah.
It does?
Yep.
That is 8 damage. Max damage, look at that.
8 damage. What kind of damage?
Radiant.
Get used to saying what types. Because
I will also do Mantle of Inspiration as a bonus action.
can you tell me what that
And
is?
everyone around me gets temporary hit points. Gets
Fantastic.
1 temporary hit points.
Hey, it's an extra point of health. The last point's the only one that matters, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
it might save somebody.
2 temporary hit points.
2 temporary hit points.
2.
Okay.
And you can use your reaction to move up your speed without provoking opportunity attacks.
Did anybody like to use their reaction at the moment to move?
Yeah, actually, I think I will.
Okay. Where are you moving to?
Up toward the big one. The biggest threat right now.
You're going to leave Wolf D behind?
There's others.
Anybody else moving?
I'm gonna move closer to Wolf D.
Okay.
I will step behind Zin.
All right. Understood.
Oh, that's crazy because I'm moving
What? Wait,
closer.
I love how you're hiding behind a 5 foot tall dwarf.
Hey, I'm a halfling, man.
Successfully.
Okay. Is that your full turn? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Zin, you're up.
All right. I will say, as long as I stand, none shall pass. I will use my elemental attunement.
Ooh, okay. First big ability. Tell us, what does elemental attunement look like for Zin? Give us a description of your character and what he looks like when he uses it.
I would like to think there's a certain glow, like aura, like golden aura around, golden, orange, red aura around them. Um, Eyes light up, but in a way where it's different colors you can see.
Okay. Okay. Does it kind of rotate through different stuff, or is it all like in one?
No, it rotates.
It rotates. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So you power up. You go Super Saiyan, because I can't
Mhm.
resist that reference. You're talking about the golden energy around you. What do you do? Make sure you spend your focus point.
So I look at D and I throw a quick jab to this face.
All right. Now, worth noting, thanks to elemental
With
attunement, you
acid
have a
damage.
15-foot attack, which is why you can attack with an unarmored attack from this distance. That was a 20 to hit, right?
Yes.
20 does hit, and you said it was acid damage?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a damage roll.
8.
8 damage. Now, this acid kind of splashes across the creature. It doesn't look like it does quite as much damage as it's supposed to. They are resistant to acid damage. You see it burns more skin away from different parts of this creature, but as it does, you see that these mushrooms grow, like in real time, pop up around the bits where the acid and stuff has worn away bits of this flesh. Yeah.
Okay. Then I will use my bonus action to attack again with fire.
Okay. Just a regular unarmed strike.
Yes. Ooh. 13 to hit.
13 just hits.
Excellent. And another 8.
8 damage. With this hit, there's a burst of fiery energy, and you see heat falls to the ground. It doesn't look like it's moving. Have heated that particular.
And I will look around. I will say who's next. And I will make my way right.
Come on.
Right here. I won't go anywhere. I'll stand right here.
Okay, moving on up just a little bit, not quite sprinting the way Raylith is over here, but getting there. Next up, we have some wolf. E is going to move 5, 10, 15. Again, going for the small target over here, going for Raylith. Was also by her lonesome up there because nobody's helping. She's gonna make the wolf is gonna make an attack. Raylith does a 10 hit?
No.
10 misses, so it kind of leaps towards you a little bit and goes to snap, but you manage to pull your arm back in time to dodge that. Wolf A is going to move So they get 40 feet, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, moving over towards Zin. And it's going to make an attack against Zin. Does a... Yeah, bad roll. Does a 9 hit?
No.
9 misses. Kind of the same thing here. It goes to make a big bite attack at you, lunges, and then you manage to pull your leg out of the way this time. It was going for knockdown. C. It's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20. It's going to move over here against Raylith, and we have advantage on the attack here because you are flanked. So with advantage, does a 23 hit. It's not a crit, but boy was it close. You're going to take 6 damage. That's 3 poison and 3 pierce. How's Raylith looking?
Well, thanks. Temporary.
You're mumbling a little bit. You're not coming through all the way.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I said thanks to the temporary a little bit ago. She's still okay. She is looking a little bit.
Okay. Well, that's good because Raylith, you're up next.
Okay, cool. So 1 step forward.
Now
she's still going for the big
completely
guy.
surrounded. Yeah, they're going for the big guy.
Completely surrounded. Going for the big one. Yeah, she sure. All right, so first she is going to bonus action. Use Giant Smite. So this 2-foot little fairy grows. She's now like what I think minimum is 8 feet. So we'll put her at a good. She wants to be as like big as she can probably almost get right now. So she's going to just grow to try to intimidate these fucking dogs that think she's not a threat.
Okay.
And then she's going to make a swing at the big one with her short sword.
Okay.
Let's see. Does a 22 hit the big one?
22 does hit the big one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So as she's swinging, her finger will like glaze across a rune on the hilt of her sword, and it'll set fire. So this is going to do an extra 2d6 fire damage, and I'm gonna need a strength save from the dog.
Okay.
Or whatever the big one I'm hitting. So let's do damage. Okay, so let's see. That's not good. That's 6, 8. So 8 piercing, and then
Is it
the
short
fire.
sword? Wouldn't it be slashing?
Short sword claims it's piercing.
Oh, that's wild. Okay.
Yeah, it is weird. The fire is 7, and then she's gonna action surge
Okay.
for a second hit.
Worth noting, the direwolf, undead direwolf, does perish with that strike. So between the
big
two
one
of you,
does?
yeah.
Shit, I don't get my vex. That was the whole point. Oh well.
Yeah. Well. As this kind of fiery burst of energy washes across this creature, you see it didn't even really get a chance to move. It just kind of falls to the ground, and this thick, again, black, like liquid just kind of leaks across the ground. And as it does, you see these mushrooms follow it and begin to spread across the ground.
So it didn't
Where
even
it
need that
died.
save. To throw on fire.
But yeah, it did need the save. The fire damage straight up took it out. But you still have your action surge, and you have 2 more creatures near you. What are you gonna do? You're gonna.
She's gonna turn toward E.
Okay.
It was the first one that tried to take a snap out of her. That one's not. Does a 14 hit?
14 does hit the wolf. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But we still get the 2d6 because of the giant smite. So that is 8 plus 5. That is 13 piercing once again.
13 piercing. Wolf E, no longer on this particular mortal plane. You one-shot the wolf.
She's gonna turn and just look at the other one.
Keep in
Who's not
mind,
menacing now?
I think you may have done damage a little weird there. Because
I only added the modifier once, and I
um,
get an extra d6 while I'm big.
only once on each of your turns. You get that for 1 attack. The extra d6.
Okay, then it was -2 on that, so it would have been 11 damage.
11 damage is still enough to one shot it, but yeah, you only get the
Okay.
extra 1d6 once per turn.
It does say attack. Sorry.
You're fine. You have the misfortune
good.
of choosing a class I am very familiar with. Others might get away with stuff, but I know how
No,
Rune Knight
you're
works.
good. I'd rather play it straight, please.
Yeah, you're fine. So Wolf, he does indeed perish with a single strike from the now giant fairy, 8-foot tall winged creature in the center of the battlefield over here. And we continue on. Is that your full turn?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot
okay.
Savage Attacker. I could have made those hits bigger, but like, we're good.
It is.
We're good.
This is the early game is practice. You guys will get used to your abilities
Yeah.
and figure out how stuff works as we continue to move on.
A lot of passive.
We do have Wolf B. Wolf B sees this giant now and goes, that's not a very great target. It's going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 down towards Zen. It looks like an easier target because he's very much not 8 foot tall and, killing his friends with single strokes over here. He's going to make an attack against Zen. Zen does a 12 hit.
No.
No, once again, a quick lunge and a quick dodge. Mimi, you're up.
So Mimi, seeing all of this happen, and she is loving it. She's having such a good time. She's watching it. She's like, "Oh hell yeah, time for me to get in here." And I'm gonna move around here. Quick question.
Mhm.
I don't want to assume. Is this within 5 feet of each other?
They are, yes.
Okay.
Each square is
So-
5 feet. So.
If I could, so I would like to rage.
Okay. Tell us what rage looks like for you.
So, rage for Mimi is not getting. She doesn't look like she's super angry. She looks a little feral. She just has this grin of insanity upon her face, and she does not look like she cares who is in her way. But right now, she has a target,
Mhm.
and that target is B, Wolf B. And I'm going to swing at him with my great axe. What is it? 1d12? No, wait. I have to roll.
You have to roll to attack
Do I have
first.
to
Yeah.
roll D-
Roll
yeah,
the d20
I have
and
to
then
roll to attack.
add your bonus.
How do I take that away? There we go. Are you fucking me? That is a 9.
9 total.
Yeah, because
Worth
it's I
noting,
rolled a
you don't
7.
have your great axe equipped on your character. You do get a
I'm joking,
bonus.
it's equipped.
You do get a bonus that you can add to that.
Probably should have asked you about this.
That's fine. It
Okay.
happens.
What do?
So you'll roll the d20. You said you rolled a 9.
Well, I rolled a 7 plus 2 is.
Okay, so that.
Why did I add plus
Oh yeah,
7?
why did you add +2? You should be adding a +4, which
Oh.
is the number right beside your great X right there. On the actions. You see it?
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that's your bonus. So you'll click that to roll, and it'll give you a number. So you said you rolled a 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 just misses this creature. It's a little bit too quick. Your blade kind of just barely, scrapes across the skin, but it doesn't really cause any kind of damage as it manages to get out of the way just in time. Anything else for your turn?
Am I able to swing again?
No, you only have one attack right now. If you hit, you can use cleave, but that's another thing entirely.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for.
Yeah.
Also, I now realize what you mean, because when it's equipped, it shows me the things.
Yeah. As I say, make sure your gear's equipped. It does make it easier for things. Dire Wolf has perished, and we reset the round. Wolf D is done. Aggie, you're up.
Aggie will move right here. He will slap his tauntaun again and do Starry Wisp at. Oof. Wolf A.
Okay.
That's a 22 to hit.
A 22 does hit, yeah.
That is 2 damage.
That's
And
radiant,
as a
correct?
bonus, yes. And as a bonus action, I will cast Healing Word on Raylith.
Healing word on Raylith. What is your healing word?
I slapped the tauntaun again.
Okay, that's a word.
And whatever I said, you just can't really hear under the loud percussion of my tauntaun.
Okay.
And you are healed for, I can't do math right now, 9.
Raylith is almost back to full.
There you go.
She's looking a lot better.
Well done. Anything else for your turn, Aggie?
Aggie will take 2 steps over here.
Okay.
No, over here. Get behind this.
Okay. Making sure you are well out of harm's reach. I like it. Zen.
Yep.
All right. Aggie, you could do better. But now that I'll have to protect you, I could go a little crazy. So I will go for a Pele kick, which is like, just think of a punt kick. On A.
On A. All right.
Yes.
Everyone else is so much cooler. I couldn't even hit.
You're good
20
there.
could have hit.
It's all rolls. The dice tell a story as much as we do. So, 22 to hit does hit.
All right, and this is going to be with lightning.
So, thunder damage. I
Yes.
don't think lightning is
Lightning damage.
Is
No,
lightning an
lightning.
actual damage type?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it says
okay.
lightning and thunder. All right.
For some reason, I was thinking lightning doesn't exist and it's all thunder damage. I think that's a different game.
6 damage.
6 damage. Nice big lightning strike as it kind of arcs over the skin. You see some of these mushrooms and stuff kind of perish. The creature still stands though.
All right, and now I'm going to go for a knee strike as my bonus action.
Okay.
$25 to hit.
25 definitely hits you.
And you know, with lightning, there's always thunder. 8 damage of thunder.
With the loud clap of thunder as you knee this thing in the side of its head, it falls to the ground and it doesn't seem to be moving. Creature
Mimi,
has
when you
now-
attacked, did you roll with advantage?
Oh, that's right. You would have had advantage. And no, I don't think she did. I'll
Oh,
keep that in mind for next time. So the way flanking works, do you see how you have you on one side and Zen directly opposite? If you're ever flanking like that, you get advantage on your attack, which means you get to roll 2d20s and take the higher number.
How dare I be just a baby?
It's fun. We'll get there. We're teaching you as you go. Anything else for your turn, Zen?
I just grin at B.
I mean, it kind of lets out this sickly roar back. Because, you know. We have E is dead, A is dead. Wolf C is all the way up here at Raylith. It's going to try to make a bite attack. Does an 18 hit Raylith?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
You're going to take 7 damage. That's 4 piercing and 3 poison. And I need you to make a strength save, please. Keep in mind, I think you do get
I
advantage.
get advantage right now because of. Yeah.
I'm going to do a reaction, and actually, never mind.
Oh, those are bad. Okay. Yeah,
Should've
she's
done
probably
it.
not going to make that. It's a 6.
6. Oof, you are dragged to the ground. You are prone. However, it is your turn directly afterwards, so it is not going to do much. What are you doing?
Back up.
Half your movement.
It's not needed. We're good. All right. She's going to make another swing for C. And that is also a bad roll. That dice is getting jail. 9.
9 unfortunately misses. This thing manages to deftly sweep underneath your swing and then move around.
Disoriented from it actually pulling her down in giant form. That's all.
Yeah.
She good.
Anything else for your turn, really?
No, not this one.
No. We move on to Wolf B. Wolf B is kind of trapped at the moment. What would he do? I think he would move just over here. He's gonna turn because Mimi did try to strike him. He's gonna make an attack at Mimi. Mimi, does a 19 hit?
Yes.
It does.
Not muscle mommy, and I'll cast silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs. Protect the
Yep.
muscle mommy at all costs. Okay.
Yep.
Silvery barbs. Second attack. Second attack is better. That's a 22.
Shit.
Yeah, roll an 18 on the dice.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
For reckless attack, is that at any point or only on your turn?
That's when you attack. So it has to be on your turn.
Okay.
Or actually, if anything else gives you an attack on somebody else's turn, technically you can use it there too. But yeah, it's when you attack. It's gonna deal.
I'll also give Mimi advantage on her next
next attack.
D20 roll.
Okay.
It's any D20
Oh yeah, it's
roll.
D20 now. Okay. You will take 8 damage. That's 4 piercing, which you are resistant to while you're raging, so that gets reduced to 2. And then 4 poison, which I don't believe you are resistant to. You'll take the full 4 poison.
Do I just take all of that out of my...
Out of your HP, yeah. So you'll take 6 total.
Okay.
However, it is your turn right afterwards, Mimi. What do you do?
I swing!
That's what you do, yeah.
With advantage.
Get that big old great axe. You do have advantage, yeah. So you can roll 2 d20s. If you're using the digital dice, you see that number
Just click
4
it
next.
twice.
Yeah, it will click it, right click it, and you'll see where it says advantage, and then click roll.
Right click.
Yeah, right click the number 4. Your little bonus next to where it says great axe,
Oh.
and it'll show
then
advantage, and then click advantage, and then roll.
What am I looking at?
You rolled 2 2s? How the
Did she really?
What? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 2 twos.
Can I go get
didn't-
my
I didn't see
real life
that.
clicky clackies?
I didn't see
please?
that show up. Yeah, no, by all means, please do, because that is terrible.
Holy
Oh my
shit.
god! I'll be right back! I can't do this!
So yeah, 2 twos. Mimi really showing all the skills she's got right now. That's a miss. And I assume she's not going to move.
Holy crap.
The dire wolf is
Carla.
dead. We're moving back. Aggie, you're up.
Gosh, y'all are just whiffing. Uh,
To be fair, Rayla's
I'll
putting
s-
in work up there.
I should be, okay? I knew I should have just fucking... I can't do that. This is fucking...
I
hate
will
it.
slap my tauntaun again and do Starry Wisp on B. Does
B.
yeah, 26 hits.
Yeah, 26.
And that is 4 radiant. I don't get any bonus
4
with this, right? Nope,
radiant
just
damage.
1d8.
All right. You see this kind of radiant wisp slap into the side of this creature. It kind of turns towards you, turning around, and lets out a low growl. And when I say low, I mean deep, deep, growl. You feel the ground tremble beneath your feet a little bit as the base kind of resonates with the stones, but it doesn't perish. Anything else on your turn?
I will also shout at Raylith, you're bigger than it. Don't fall. Don't stop messing up. And I'll give you Bardic Inspiration.
Your Bardic
That's a
Inspiration is a
D6.
D6 right now? Yeah. And you can use it with the new 2024 rules. You can use it on literally anything that rolls a D20.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. Okay. Is that your turn?
I will move up here.
Okay. Continue circling around. I like it. Zen.
I will unleash a loud roar and say things are heating up, and I will go for a
Away.
swift roundhouse kick to the mid section of B.
Okay. Center
Yeah, I
mass.
just realized.
I like it.
Oops.
I wanted to do reckless.
Well, you already had
19.
advantage anyway and still failed, so you wouldn't have done
I
much. You
guess
said
that's
19?
fair.
Yes,
19 does hit the wolf, yeah.
excellent. And this will be fire. Oh,
This is where we've learned fire heals them.
5.
No.
5 damage. A solid smack. This thing has taken 2 hits already. Still standing though. You let this kick hit its midsection. There's a burst of fiery energy, and as the kind of flames die down, it just growls and lets out another kind of earth trembling noise. But it's still on all 4 legs, and it's mad.
Good. Then I turn around, do a spinning back fist in his face.
Okay.
For a 24 to hit.
24 definitely hits, yeah.
And this will still be fire.
Okay.
For 9 damage.
9 damage. Another burst of fiery energy. You hear a snapping noise as this thing head just like gets completely turned sideways, and you see bones and stuff kind of sticking out. It is no longer here.
Oh, gross.
Okay.
Only 1 creature left.
And I'm gonna move right here.
All right, moving up to help Raylith, who's been by herself at the top the entire time. I have to point that out. But it is the wolf's turn. Seeing a new threat approach, it's going to turn to try to take a bite out of Zen as he approaches, warning you off, so to speak. Does a... Oh, no. That's a natural 20.
Okay.
Did I already do my reaction this round, or?
I
It's
don't
it's a new
think
one.
so.
Yes.
I think you've had a
You
turn.
have not.
Okay, I'll cast out Silvery Barbs on that.
Okay, silvery barbs. Rolling with I fucking kid you not. I need to take a screenshot of this, bro.
Was
God
another
damn
nat
it.
20.
It is another nat 20.
I'll give the advantage to Zen.
You guys can't see the. I'll take a picture of it and put it in chat and show you.
Sammy rolls 2 2s, and you roll 2 20s.
Yeah,
What kind of backwards game are we
that's-
playing?
That's just the way things are gonna go.
If I'm rolling low, it's a problem.
If he's
Oh.
rolling high, that's a problem.
He doesn't even
That's
know his
why
blue
he's
die.
rolling high. He's stealing it from me.
So because
Not letting
That
me
I
do
is-
anything.
That is incredible. I'm gonna post this in the general chat on Discord so you guys know I'm not bullshitting, but I cannot stress enough that happened. That is
I want to use my
absolutely
reaction.
insane.
Oh my fucking god.
Are you gonna reduce the damage? Deflect
Yes.
attack. Okay. It's worth noting this does deal both piercing and poison damage. You can deflect the piercing part. You can't reflect the poison part. So
I mean, that's cool. I'm resistant to poison.
okay. So that'll be cut in half too. So we're pretty good, and we'll see how this works. What is their damage? 1d6 plus 2, so that's 6. roll 4, 5. So it's going to be 11 damage. It's going to be 6 piercing and 5 poison. So you're automatically going to take 2 poison damage. You can't deflect that. Roll your d10. What is it? It's like a d10 plus 7. D10 plus 7. Okay, so you don't take any of the piercing damage at all then, but you still take the 2 poison.
Okay.
And are you going to use your focus point? It's your last one.
No, I still have my.
Oh, no, it's only 2. It doesn't cost a focus point to deflect attack now. I forgot about that.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you going to use the second one for redirect?
No.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna save it.
And because it did hit last but not least, I need a strength saving throw.
That was supposed to be a 19. That's a 7.
You have
Well,
advantage.
it's supposed to be a 19. Well, yeah, you do have advantage for silvery barbs.
God
No.
damn it, everyone.
It was
Okay.
an 18, and then it just slowly
just
rolled to 5.
Slowly rolled over. Yeah, it happens. So that's a 9. You are brought to the ground as it kind of gets on top of you. You are prone. Mimi.
Just where I want you.
No, Raylith.
I am-
Sorry.
What else I think of? Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna swing the one right here beside me.
Let me have him. Just let me have him. That's all you hear Mimi screaming.
Meanwhile, Raylith is screaming to Aggie. Did you not see the first few hits? From like him insulting the hit.
You're too
Alright,
big to see around you.
You said D6 is to any roll, right?
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and use that for a 16 to hit.
16 does hit. Yeah.
Okay. 16, and then damage. I'm gonna use my Savage Attacker just to see if I can get higher. The current roll is a 10 plus my mod. No. 10 plus 5 piercing. 15.
15 damage, and with another one shot, this wolf falls to the ground. It is no longer alive. The area around you now cleared. You see this black ichorish fluid kind of leaking out of these wolves, beginning to spread. The mushrooms are coming along, following the path that this blood, I guess is what you could call it, as it begins to spread and run into the little spaces between the cobblestones of the city here. And almost immediately after that last one falls, you all hear Torch as she's continuously hurting. Because again, the way combat works, all this took were just 3 rounds. All this took maybe 20 seconds. And as Torch is kind of hurting this mother and her 2 children off to the side, she turns towards you and says, "Go save my dad."
What?
Do I still have movement?
You do, yeah. We're not in
Really?
initiative anymore, so you can act freely.
Oh, I was gonna
Okay.
say,
Yeah.
if
Go
I
to
still
dash.
had turn, I'd just book it in.
Go save
I would take
my
up the whole
dad!
portal. So like y'all are just gonna be squished if you go before me. Just a heads up.
Aggie's going to stand in front of the portal and just be like, I don't really want to go through this. And we'll walk in very reluctantly.
You all move into the portal. And I'm going to swap this back for now. As you all enter the portal on one side of a realm, you all feel a jerking sensation. Something from deep inside of you gets pulled and almost feels like you're being pulled apart for a few moments before you hear the wind in the trees and you feel sunlight bask in your skin. And when you open your eyes on the other side, you find yourself in what appears to be a forest. You have red autumn leaves that kind of dance around in a light breeze. You have trees that kind of surround you for a good distance, so enough space that you can see in between them, but no kind of clearing or anything like that immediately visible, just somewhere in the middle of the woods. You see probably 6 or 7 other wolf creatures, these massive hulking things with their torn skin, all slaughtered. You see their bodies laying around the opening to the portal that is still behind you, still glowing this kind of sickly green, and not much else. Woods as far as the eye can see, and these bodies. And you know, because of the way these rifts work and the knowledge that you would have joining the Guardian Corps, you are in another world right now. You are no longer in Indamira. What do you do?
I'm gonna look for signs as to where Arthur might have gone.
Okay, that sounds
Our
like a
captain?
survival check to me. Sounds like you're trying to do some tracking.
So 20 plus modifier.
Yeah, so you should see on your actual main page, you should see survival, so it'll show you what you have down there. Then 20 plus
7.
7. 7's not enough. You don't really find any kind of tracks or anything. Maybe you're looking in the wrong place, or maybe you started on one side and he went the other, but it doesn't. You're not finding anything that will kind of lead you to where you think he might be or anything like that.
Okay. Do any of you have any better eyes for looking for where this man might have gone?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yep.
Lead the way.
Talk to the dwarf. He can see better than me.
So I'll look around and pretty much see where the bodies lead.
Can I give him the help action?
You can, if you'd like to make a survival check, Zen, you can do so with advantage.
Okay.
Assuming we've been in here for at least 40 seconds, yeah?
Probably by this point, yeah.
Oh,
Raylith slowly just shrinks back down to 2 feet.
just 12.
12 is enough. It's the footprints that have kind of led through this black liquid that you could kind of call blood if you really want to. You find bits and traces of it on some leaves and stuff heading off towards, kind of coming from the portal. It would be down towards the right, heading in that direction.
So it seems to be he headed towards the right.
Well, let's follow.
Raylith flies that way.
You begin to head off into the woods following this path. It's not a very hard path to follow, and you get the impression following this path that Arthur is not a very subtle person. That's not how things work with him. He crashes through underbrush, breaks branches. He's not exactly trying to be quiet. He's not sneaking around here or anything like that. And once you pick up on the path, again, it's not difficult to follow. After about 10 minutes or so, continuing to follow, you eventually do come to what appears to be a clearing. And you see a house, a cottage, really. Not very big or anything like that. The door is open. The roof is kind of thatched in a very kind of old style. You see moss and vines and stuff kind of growing up a lattice on one side of the house. There's what looks like an old cook fire in the front with a black kettle and stuff over the top of it. Some shelves with what looks like very old dried meat in some places on the side. It looks kind of like what you would imagine, because none of you have seen this in real life, but maybe stories or something would give you the impression of a hunting cottage out in the woods. And you kind of get that impression as you approach.
Mimi's just gonna call out. Arthur, are you Captain? Are you here anywhere? Perchance.
No answer.
Hey, maybe we shouldn't be yelling, in place where those leaky wolves came from.
I don't think a little noise is gonna keep them from finding us.
I'm gonna take an aerial view,
Yeah.
and Raylith will kind of fly up, see if she can see anything, like further out, anything like that could possibly lead to him.
Um. Okay. So you kind of head up, and the thing is, the way this forest kind of works, the trees themselves are separate enough that you can kind of see between them. But once you get to the canopy, once you get to the actual, like, you know, the tree part, the leaves, it's actually rather thick at the top. You can't see anything from above the canopy. You can't see the forest floor very well and stuff. And going too high kind of blocks your view. But the problem is, like, the trees aren't tall enough that you actually get a decent view if you go any lower than the canopy. Does that make sense? You have to stay below the leaves of the tree to be able to see anything, and you can't see much from there. You do get a sense that the clearing is a little bit bigger on the other side. Maybe there's some kind of garden patch or something behind it on the other side and stuff that kind of leads. The clearing is a little bit bigger, perhaps, than you would initially think, but that's about it. You're not seeing too much from up there.
Yeah, she'll just go down and relay that bit then.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna head around back, see if I can't see nothing. As the door's wide open, and I don't see anything.
So you kind of head around the side of the cottage, and yeah, you do see like a garden patch. Imagine like if you've played like any cozy games like Stardew Valley or something like that, you know how they have like the one patch next to the house where you can plant things. You do see something kind of like that, but you don't see anything else. You do see what the remains of what would have been crops or something like that, but it's long rotten and nothing close to edible still remains over here. It's all kind of brown and gross.
Is the path that Zin found, does that lead directly into the hunting lodge?
So once it kind of gets to the edge of the clearing, it's a lot harder to follow that trail, because the clearing doesn't have branches and bushes and stuff like that for you to follow as easily. You can try to make another survival check if you'd like, but
I kind of
Sure.
want to.
okay.
Does the hunting lodge itself just like have a door? It's basically like you said, a cabin kind of a thing.
Yeah, just imagine like just a cottage in the woods, right? Like someone lived here. This is a home. It's a small one, kind of out in the middle of the woods, but
Rayla's just gonna knock on the door and then see if it's unlocked if no one answers.
the door
Well,
is
I would-
open.
Before
The
you
door was
bef-
open.
before you do that, I'll give Mimito advantage on survival check to see if the footprints lead into the hunting lodge.
Give me that survival check, Mimi.
It's a nat 20.
Oh shit, first 20. Well, not the first 20, but you know.
Third 20 of the game.
Third nat 20 of the game. What's the total?
21. I only have a +1 on
21.
survival.
Okay. With the 21, you do find by now, after walking for like 10 minutes, most of the ichor and stuff that would have been on his boots have long since kind of faded away and kind of been brushed off in other places. But you do see the impressions of heavy footprints that do lead to the door and then lead away, kind of continuing on to the other side of the clearing. It doesn't seem, and this is because it's nat 20, I'm going to give you a little bit of information. Something kind of interesting here. You guys have been moving for about 10 minutes, kind of moving through these woods. And you know that he came in, I mean, it couldn't have been more than 30 seconds in front of you because that fight didn't take very long. Again, because of the way D&D combat rules work, that fight was 18 seconds. But he's not moving fast. These footsteps, like, they're more relaxed and stuff than you think perhaps they should be. They also look a little bit worn, like they've been here for more than just a few minutes.
Mhm.
Is it known by any chance or like discussed if time moves differently through the rifts?
By you? No.
So,
Or if it's even
my question on this goes to the door, leads back this way, and I'm guessing it seems like
Well,
he
it leads off
continued that
towards
way.
the other side of the clearing from where you came in. Like he checked inside and then continued on.
Okay. So found a bit of a trail again. However, they seem older than they should. I mean, he didn't get that far ahead of us, but these tracks don't seem very recent.
What do you mean? He's only been here for like 20 seconds. What are you talking about?
That's
Than that.
Does-
But I mean, tracks are tracks. I mean, they're human, right? They're like human or humanoid. Yeah.
yeah. You know what? Let's keep on.
I mean, it
Wait,
could be
what-
somebody, if not.
What do you mean?
him.
Is there somebody else possibly here? Are they the same from the ones earlier?
Does it look like his like chainmail? Like, does it look like chainmail boots, kind of a thing?
Yeah, it'd be the same kind of
Yeah.
footprints you guys have been following.
Okay.
It looks like his path. It just looks older than it should. But I got something. We can continue following it. He didn't stop here for very long.
Do you, any of you guys know how to like we can just close the rift? I know they gave us like those device things, but like
Y'all can't
How
see
do they
my
work?
face, but I got excited just now.
Common knowledge.
No,
those?
you guys haven't received
No,
training
we
on the
haven't been taught
RDD.
anything of this.
You have
Okay.
an RDD. You haven't been taught to use it yet. Are you gonna pull it
so
up?
like
Well-
any of you like kiss asses know like how this thing works?
It's
I
not
mean,
Mimi
exactly
is trying to follow
common.
the trail. She's walking off.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, as she's walking, Raylith will fly behind her. It's not exactly common knowledge until you're in, so
But I thought you knew everything about this thing.
I know everything that common knowledge allows.
So
All
you don't
public
know
records.
what?
kind of a
Alright.
thing. No, I don't know how they
Aggie.
work.
Look,
Aggie,
it's
you
not
are more than
fine.
you are more than welcome to come up the back. But everybody, let's keep on. Otherwise, who knows what else we're gonna deal with up in here.
Aggie, this is not the time.
I feel like it's a perfect good time if like Sir Arthur King Douche ran that way, like where's he going? Does he know something that we know about closing these rifts?
He's been in this for longer than we've been alive. Yes, he does.
Alright.
So we should find him.
Oops. did not
If
mean
you
that.
say so. Alright.
So
Can I pull out the RDD and just look at it? What does it look like?
So the RDD, or the Rift Disruption Device, is a thing created by the Mages Guild of Astra in order to help close these rifts. It's a cube, a small metal box, basically, and on each side of it, it has a rune. The only thing you know is that it basically works like a kind of like a spell scroll, and that these runes let you cast very certain spells. Now, which spell means which, or what command words it is to use them and stuff, you're not sure. You haven't been trained and stuff on that. But it basically just looks like a little cube, a little metal cube with runes and stuff on it, on each side.
Can I use Arcana to kind of like decipher one of the runes?
You can try, sure. Give me a roll.
19.
19. Okay. I'm trying
It's
to.
pretty good.
So
Since
I
my Arcana is a +0.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I know what spells and stuff are on here. I'll say with a 19, you do kind of figure out one of them. You would recognize this rune because in your previous line of work, when you were much younger and more rambunctious, you probably used this spell. It would be locate object. So you've probably seen that rune painted on actual spell scrolls, like pieces of paper and stuff that you can use. But you would recognize that particular rune, I think. What are the
Interesting.
rest of you guys doing?
Aggie, are you going to follow along, or do I have to pick you up so you can continue looking at that thing?
I wouldn't do that.
I'm asking.
You're gonna. You can carry me. That's cool. Come on, muscle mommy.
I'll go ahead. I'll pick up Aggie. And we're gonna keep it pushing.
Okay. How are you carrying
Hell yeah.
Aggie? I need to know. I need an image in my head.
Okay.
Is it over the
So,
shoulder
I'm
sack of
picking up.
potatoes?
No,
or is
I'm
it
picking him up like this. So we're talking head here, legs dangling here, picking him up.
like a dog? I like it.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, this is really uncomfortable. Hey, I did expect this to happen. Why?
I asked, and you said yes.
Your axe is digging into my side. It's really uncomfortable.
I readjust him slightly.
So just to confirm, you guys are not leaving the you guys are not examining the cottage in any way. You're just heading on out of the other side.
I mean,
Well-
if
Well, that's what
Do
I
the
was
footprints
originally
lead
going to
straight
do.
out?
That's why I did the stealth check to approach it.
Okay. So Zen, are you going to stay back and try to kind of check in the cottage, see if there's anything to see? Is that what you're going to do?
Yes.
So while the rest of you continue to walk off, Zen, you kind of approach this cottage. Give me a perception check as you kind of step just inside the front. I still have that stealth check, the 21, so I am taking that into effect here.
God damn it. 8.
An 8.
Unless you would have used more passive perception.
No, it is an active perception check.
Okay.
So you don't see much. You see furniture. You see a table, chairs. You see food kind of left on the tables, and just a lot of dust. It's only 2 rooms in here. One appears to be a bedroom of some kind. It has a couple of beds that have kind of fallen apart. The blankets have kind of rotted away a little bit. The kitchen table where you imagine meals would have been eaten is actually pretty well solidly built. It has definitely been some time, but the table is still nice and sturdy. The dishes and stuff that are left on it are, very, like, they're metal, so they've lasted quite a long time. They're rusted and stuff, of course, but that's about it. Everything else, I mean, it's a pretty plain home. Just this thick layer of dust on everything.
If I squint my eyes really hard, can I do it with disadvantage? Another.
Do I want to
perception check.
allow this precedent? Because this will set up again a precedent for whether or not you can repeat skill checks.
Yeah,
I will
let's-
say,
let's
I will
do
say
that.
yes. I will say yes. You can repeat the skill check, but you will do so at disadvantage. You cannot repeat it a third time.
Doesn't matter. Same number.
Same number.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not doing much better here. You try to take a second glance, and you're not seeing anything you didn't see the first time.
All right, then I will leave the cottage and dash to catch up to the others.
So
Hey,
you catch
where's
up to
Zin?
this. You hear and he's like right behind you.
No!
Well, not that you can see
It's
him
like he
because
was
it's just
never
your
gone.
butt dangling in the air, and you can only look in the
Yeah.
direction Mimi's looking.
for all he knows, he's under attack. Something's running up from the rear.
We're being attacked. My Heidi's unprotected.
Yeah. So you continue to make your way through the woods. With that survival check and stuff, it's again once you get into the woods itself, it's fairly easy to follow his path, and eventually you come up to another large clearing. Only this clearing has a lot to look at here. You see what appears to be an almost Stonehenge kind of formation in the center of this clearing, and you see a large painted rune on the grass underneath this kind of stone formation. In the center of it, there appears to be some kind of what looks like fountain of some kind with water and stuff in it. The water you can see from this distance, just at the edge of the clearing, is actually super clear. It kind of glistens in the sunlight and stuff. And it's also worth noting that this clearing is very large, probably at least 150, 200 feet across, maybe. Absolutely massive. And while you're kind of glancing around and taking a look, you guys hear footsteps clanking and kind of bouncing off roots and stuff as Arthur approaches, kind of coming around the side of the clearing. Doesn't look like he's entered it yet. But he kind of approaches you guys. All right. Well, I'm happy to see that you made it at last.
I'm gonna set Aggie down.
What do you mean at last? We came in almost immediately after you did.
Oh, well. I guess you actually don't know how this thing's working right at the moment, but time works a little bit differently in some of the rifts than others. I've been here for about a day already.
That would explain why your tracks looked a bit old.
Yeah, well, don't worry. Don't think you're going to be losing time. As soon as we manage to exit this place and head back into our realm, time will continue as normal. You won't have lost anything. But
How do you know this is a different realm?
do I know it's a different realm? Well, there's a couple indications. When nighttime falls, if you take a look at the stars, you'll realize you don't recognize any of them. Also, it's not out just yet, but there are 2 suns here. I'm pretty sure we only have one on our world. It's kind of a big giveaway, if you think about it.
Well, how am I supposed to know there was 2 suns?
Well, we're closing in on evening not too far from now, if I had to guess. But yeah, generally when you take all those things and you put them together, it kind of tells you you're in a different world.
Well, what do we need to do from here, Captain?
Right. So you see he pulls out the rift disruption device that he has. So again, a metal cube with little runes and stuff on all 6 sides. And you see he places his hand upon one and speaks, "Find." And when he does, you see this little golden kind of trail appears and kind of leads to the center of this clearing, towards where this thing is. I haven't taught you all how to use these things just yet, but these rift disruption devices, they're quite handy. They'll teach you where it is you need to go in order to use the device and close the rift. And it looks like we didn't have to go too far this time. After only 30, 45 minutes of travel, we find ourselves right where we need to be. Looks like right there, where we need to place this thing and set it off. But I'm going to be honest here. I've been walking around and trying to do a checkout, and this thing makes me uncomfortable.
Why?
Most of the time when we do these rifts, it'll lead us to a place, and it's kind of just a place. It's just a spot in the middle of nowhere. This one looks much more elaborate than other ones I've seen, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I decided to wait for kind of glances over all of you, reinforcements for heading in.
Well, I will say, from my own eyes, this is a hell of a group I'm pretty happy to be with.
All right.
I think that it's good backup. Damn.
It's better than
Crickets,
nothing.
you
at
said that.
least, but well, if something does happen when we tried to approach, I wanted to make sure that at least somebody can get back and let somebody know what happened at the very least. That way they can send another group in, one better prepared than we were when we came in.
I have too many things to do to die here.
I'm always prepared.
Right. So, what do you say?
So
Let's
who's
do it.
The way?
going to be the dumb one and go into the clearing first?
Oh. I mean, I'll go slowly. Is it an open clearing? Like just
It is a fairly open clearing, in fact.
Okay,
Everybody close
so-
your eyes real tight for a second. I gotta hide something because I forgot to.
okay.
Joy.
Okay, there we go. Very good. Chat, if y'all saw that, you didn't. So, behold, the clearing. You see this kind of well and stuff in the center. This kind of Stonehenge style thing around the edges. You guys are going to be approaching from the bottom, so down here in this area. You'll also notice these squares are very small. I'm sorry. It is quite large.
Look, I already got old people eyes. I need you to calm down.
You know, some maps are bigger than other ones. I don't know what to tell you. It is pretty big for a reason, though. But you guys enter the clearing. Nothing happens immediately. What are you doing?
Moving further in, trying to stay vigilant.
I'm still taking a stealth approach.
Actually, can I fly up now that I'm in the clearing itself?
You
Can I
can,
try to
yeah. Get like a bird's eye view of the place.
Yeah, just take a quick little
Yeah.
look-see.
You would see almost exactly what we see here. Kind of like from the map, the top-down view. You see like the stones and stuff kind of lined up in a circle. This well. Imagine that's a well in the center. It looks just like a regular rock. It's a fountain, like a bird fountain kind of thing, with a rune painted and stuff on the grass.
Want to move closer to about... Oh shit, fuck, that's not what I meant to touch. About here?
Mhm.
Just get a closer little view.
Arthur
Be
is
Be a
also
little
kind of,
cautious with it.
Arthur's also kind of moving behind you guys. I say behind, with your group rather, because he's not going to like hide behind people like Aggie over here. He is moving in, but he is kind of approaching with your group and stuff, very slowly taking steps. Looks
You said
over,
it's a rune.
looks up
Can
at
I
Raylith.
read it?
I want to hide behind this rock.
No, you wouldn't know what
No.
this rune means. I don't think. But he will kind of look up at Raylith and he'll be like, "That's a handy little tool there. Do you see anything up there?"
Unknown rune around a well, maybe? But big rune up ahead. Can't read it.
Yeah. All right then.
Would you perhaps be able to draw it for us? Maybe he's seen something like it before?
I can get a pretty good idea of what's going on. I mean, we can see it from here, but it's not anything I'd recognize.
Oh. Well,
She'll
I
fly
guess all we can do
behind
is
her.
get a little closer. A little bit at a time.
Aggie's going to hide right by this rock.
So you all begin to make your way slowly closer and closer towards the center of the clearing, and nothing happens.
I don't want to touch it. I know touching runes a lot of times activates them based on, just knowledge that I have from mine.
Can I decipher what kind of rune this is? Like, this is a magic. This is like an Arcana rune or a primitive rune, like a Druid rune or cleric.
You can try. It's worth noting this is a rune from a different plane of existence, so I'm not sure if you would recognize it. If you get a nat 20, I might give you something, but it's really it.
19 again.
19 again. I tell you what, 19's not terrible, especially knowing you have no bonuses. It does look magical in nature. I mean, there's that. Most runes are. Some runes tend to be like writing or some type of like communication and stuff between each other, symbols that mean different things and stuff like that. But this is not one of those. This is definitely magical in nature. As for what it is, where it comes from, or what it does, you have no idea.
Hey, yo, that's some magic shit. Be careful.
How big?
Captain, how far in do you need to go to do your little rift disruption?
Well, as far as I understand, it's dead center, right in the middle of the well.
Can I
Uh,
try to cast fairy fire to see if there's anything we can't see in the, like, inside the rune itself? It's a 20-foot cube.
20-foot cube doesn't leave you a lot of room. You can choose like maybe 1/4 of it. And you can try, certainly, if you want to
I'll
spend
try
the
like
spell
the
slot and
center
stuff. The center chunk, like
'cause
right
it's centered
around
on this
the
well. So
like right around the fountain. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, you can go ahead and cast. It doesn't illuminate anything.
I'm getting a bad feeling about this one.
All right.
But we signed up for this.
Mimi just looks around and goes, I guess prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And I'm just going to start walking.
Yep, stepping on it.
You move into the room. Nothing happens.
Mm-hmm. Said nothing happens?
Nope.
Beautiful.
We'll just
Head
keep
on
moving
over
in.
to the well.
You head on over to. We keep saying well. It is a fountain. I know it's just a rock and stuff here, but imagine like a kind of more elaborate bird fountain. You know, where it's like a stone pillar with a little bowl on the top of it and stuff, and then water and stuff on the inside. The water is crystal clear, and that's about it. Dead center of the room, but that's the only weird thing about it.
Captain,
Yes.
if there's a well with perfectly clean water, why did everything that came from here seem dried up and maybe thirsty even? Like they looked shriveled and like the mushrooms and
Not
Maybe
sure.
don't drink the water.
As it stands now, the thing is that a lot of these places we end up heading to when we head into these rifts, they don't make sense. They're confusing. I mean, in some of them, this one's not that bad. We're looking at, green trees and stuff like that, but a lot of times they're purple or blue. A lot of times there's no sun, or sometimes multiple. These worlds aren't ours. It's not in Demeter. As for why this well is sitting here, I couldn't tell you if I'm being honest.
Well, this sigil's here for a reason.
That much I think is clear, but as to what purpose it serves, I'm not sure. It could be maybe we're looking at it too cautiously. If this water is clear and everything else around here has a bad time, maybe it's some sort of protection. Maybe it's just protecting the water. Maybe it's important for some reason or something like that.
Or
Well,
maybe it's keeping something here.
Could be. I mean, without triggering it, and we won't exactly know for sure, but I think triggering it would probably be a terrible idea. Also, I'm not entirely sure
I
how
dare
to
you to drink
trigger
it.
That's a terrible idea.
yeah, no, let's not do
I
that.
double dog dare you.
I think we should go ahead and do our little riff doohickey and get the fuck out like we're supposed to.
That might be the smartest thing I've ever heard you say.
Yeah.
Ooh, burn.
Good news is we don't have to get too close. We can just place the rift disruption device, and you see he kind of places it down near the base without kind of disrupting the water or anything. Places it down. You see he places his hand on one of these runes and says, we're going to give ourselves plenty of time to get out of here just in case something happens. 3 hours, I think, should be solid. You see he kind of places his hand and he says 3 hours, and the rune lights up, and as the other rooms slowly begin to fill, kind of lighting up around the edge of the device. And as that happens, the rift disruption device begins to glow, and so does the glyph on the ground underneath you. The rune lights up, and several things are going to happen all at once. I'm going to be
Well,
describing a
shit.
lot of things. I need you guys to wait until I tell you to react, please. The first thing that happens is a woman steps out of the clearing on the other side. She's human, with just dark tan skin, this long black hair that kind of drops down her back, and a bright, and I do mean bright, red dress. Very form-fitting, very tight fit to her body, showing off every curve that she has. She wears no shoes and just walks across the bare grass. The second thing that happens, and this happens immediately when she steps in, I'm going to have to go one by one here, but we're going to start with Raylith. We're going to go top down from Discord. Raylith, you're kind of up, floating above the whole place, so you got a bird's eye view And just for a second, as you glance up at her, walking across, and you glance back down at your party members to see their reaction, something changes. You see Zin decapitated, his head rolling across the ground, his body falling in the opposite direction. You see Aggie has been pierced with 15, maybe 20 spears, all at different angles in such a way that it keeps his body upright while all of these spears go through him. You see Mimi on the ground, foaming at the mouth and convulsing. Aggie, you see coming from the opposite side behind this woman a massive creature. Absolutely huge slug with these tentacles that kind of open up its mouth. If you've ever seen the gaping dragon from Dark Souls, it's something very similar to that. And these tentacles are grabbing trees and yanking them out of the ground and shoving them into its, stomach mouth, basically, as it just eats everything in its way. And you look up at this thing and you immediately think run, but you look down and your ankles are... You can't move. Mimi, you see something very similar to what Raylith saw. You see Raylith has been bisected. Her wings are falling as her body tumbles to the ground. You see Aggie has fallen out of a tree or something, but there's no tree. It doesn't make sense because his legs and his arms are broken. The bones are piercing the skin. His neck is turned at the most unnatural angle you can think of. And you see Zin pierced onto a tree with arrows sticking out of every inch of his visible body. Zin, you see what appears to be this massive pit opening up in the middle of the ground, and you see Raylith and Mimi and Aggie and Arthur all fall into this pit, and you cannot help them. There's nothing there for you but to try to run, but you turn around and the pit is opening on the other side too, and you are trapped in the center of this space with nowhere to go. As the ground around you crumbles and crumbles and crumbles, and you begin to fall. And just as you begin to fall, everyone snaps back as Arthur casts a spell towards you, and as he does, he speaks a word. And I need you all to make a perception check to see if you hear what he says.
Said perception.
Mm-hmm.
18.
16.
16.
7.
7.
Sorry, I'm doing a thing. I'm using tactical. I'm spending a second win. So that is a 20. So 24.
24 perception. Okay. With the highest perception here, Relith, you hear what he says. Do you speak Elvish?
No.
Okay, then you hear the word, but not the meaning. The word is Minosha Tars. I can spell that for you if you'd like, and you want to take
Please,
notes.
as a note taker, I would love that.
It's MENOSHATARS. And then I need you all to make a wisdom saving throw, please, as you all glance back towards this woman after having just seen what you saw.
Is this the frightened condition?
20.
No. 20. Solid.
18.
Wisdom saving?
18. Wisdom saving throw. You should see a little thing that
5.
says saving throws, and then you'll click the one next to wisdom. Did you say 5, Relith?
Yeah, I said 5.
Oh, I see. I'll just do it on here. 17.
17. We get a 17, a 20, a 7, and a 5. Okay, you all fail.
I got 18.
Oh, shit.
18. Okay. You all fail.
Holy shit.
DC is 22.
Shit.
Holy shit.
You all suffer,
Fuck.
and I feel like Mowgli's going to get angry at me. You all suffer from the terrified condition.
The fuck is that?
That is the thing I'm introducing to this campaign. Terrified works like stun. Your movement speed is 0, and you cannot act. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns, or until they decide to let you go. It's important for a reason. Again, all this happens within a few instants. Okay, you see this sight, you process it, and then you're back and you're looking at this woman standing on the other side of the clearing. And then again, two things happen simultaneously, almost back to back. The first thing that happens is she looks up at you, makes eye contact with each of you, and says, "Oh, there you are." And then Arthur tells you to run. He throws out his hand and casts another spell. You feel terrified lift. Simultaneously, she raises her hand, and on the backside of the clearing, a wall of force appears. Glimmering and gleaming in the sunlight, you can just barely see where it appears. She says, "Not so fast. Let's talk." And then Arthur sprints at her, sword raised. What are you doing?
We can move now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Arthur.
Gonna try to move in as well, given the backup supposed to be.
Is the slug still there?
No.
Okay. Where was the slug?
Directly behind Rashid. You would be standing in this area.
You will move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 over here.
You're not in initiative just yet. So you're
Aggie
moving
will start
around the
flanking
side.
around.
Flanking? Okay.
Yeah.
Zen.
So which way did Arthur go? Just straight up?
Yeah, Arthur was standing here in the center. He's moving straight towards her.
Okay, well, following him.
Not quite so far because there's some other things.
Okay, I was waiting for you to just say.
I'm trying to get what Zen's doing for reasons.
So,
Gotcha.
have we forgot about priority 2?
Priority 1 comes first.
Already one
city-
is first. The rift's not closed.
How
In
can
fact-
we survive? We can't leave.
In fact, you set the timer for 3 hours. Took you about 30 to 45 minutes to get here. The timer is set.
Now, is the way we came from blocked?
Yes,
Yes.
there's a wall of force across the entire zone.
Okay.
It's an invisible, basically unbreakable wall. There is one way
Currently,
you
we're
that
can
dealing
just
break
with
it. None of
priority
you have.
1 and 2.
Then at that point, I will crack my knuckles and say, "Let's talk," and I will join the team.
As you all approach, like
and
I
the
said,
wall of force is like down here, or is it going?
it is curved all the way around right here.
All right.
As you approach, again, Arthur is running first. And something happens. As you all approach, as you all get into the center of as you all kind of approach this woman, she reaches out her hand and backslaps him. And you see Arthur go flying across the entire zone, slams into the wall of force, and basically disintegrates. There is a splash of blood and bone and viscera and gore, and nothing is left. You all are standing maybe 15, 20 feet away from this woman. What do you do?
Well, fuck! Why did you have to go and do that?
Do you want to fight? Is that what you're here for?
Well, after that, not really. So what are we talking?
We call it a trial, then. If fighting is what you want, I can give it to you. Or we can talk. Your choice. And you see she raises her hand, and as she does, right where Zen is standing, a creature emerges from the ground. Probably about 12 feet tall, draconian dreadnought, a massive creature hulking on two legs with two big arms, wings, and a face and head of a dragon, wielding a massive great.
Okay,
We
Right.
we don't need
We
we don't
can
need to
talk.
fight.
let's do
Trial's
the
good.
first option. No, talking. No trial
Talking
right
good,
now.
trial bad.
Talking.
Talking good, trial
Yeah,
bad.
let's do that one.
Are you
Oh
sure?
my goodness.
You seem ready to fight at every cost.
I was, you know,
You
but
and
I like your option.
You and your friends were ready to kill me.
We were ready to leave.
Leaving is in the other direction. You came towards me.
You put up a
To be
wall when
fair,
we tried to run.
I was trying to run around the wall, not at you.
So I feel like that's a bit of a misconception, considering when we did try to run, you put that up and didn't really give us that choice.
Raylith's hand is still on her sheath, like weapon, ready to draw. Because as far as she is still concerned, the rift's gotta close.
Well, the rift's
So
going
if that's
to
a
close.
fight, if she doesn't have a way to prevent it.
Right. I am
So
pleased to finally meet you all. Been looking for you for quite some time.
What?
Pardon?
Who are you? And what do you want?
All things will be revealed eventually, but just know that I have spent quite the amount of effort looking for you. I'm very pleased to meet you all. What is it your friend called me? What did he say? Minosha Tars. Elvish.
I know
I
Elvish.
think.
What does that say?
Ah, okay. Elvish. It's an older dialect of Elvish, but you would know that that particular phrase means the origin of fear. It's not really a name, I don't think. It's more of a title, but I like it. You can call me Min, I think. It's a pleasure to meet you. She raises out a hand to shake.
Should
What?
I? Or are you gonna, you know?
Oh, I'm not going to hurt you. Not directly.
Okay, well,
Why?
no
why is
funniness,
your title?
I guess.
Why is your title the origin of fear? And is the giant dragon thing going to kill us?
I've been called many things, many scary, many great. I've been given many titles, and origin of fear, Minoshatars, is not, well, it's understandable at the very least. I can be intimidating.
Yeah. Well, I guess the best I can do is, I'm gonna go ahead and shake her hand.
Pleasure to
I already
meet
said
you.
I'm not fighting.
And you are?
Me,
I've
me,
introduced
no.
myself. Mimi. How quaint. The rest of you?
If you've been waiting for us, you should already know who we are.
Well, not waiting for you personally, waiting for you as a whole. It's complicated, and I'm sorry I can't tell you much more, but
Is it the greater you?
yes.
The general? Okay.
Well, if we're gonna have a civilized conversation, can you get this beast away from me?
Oh no, he's going to stick around just in case you get a little too antsy. I have
Well-
made a promise. I will not hurt you directly. But in case you get a little too big for your britches, he's around to handle things for me.
I'm wearing a robe. I don't have any breeches.
So you'll just commando under there. That's something. I am
Okay.
too.
Nice breeze.
Can Raylith glance back? Is the disruption device timer like
Still there, still ticking.
still ticking? Okay.
So, Min, I'm Aggie. Aggie the True Speaker. How you doing? So you said you've been waiting for us for quite a while. Well, not us as the 4 individuals, but us as like the collective of people who come in and like do some shit and leave.
Oh no,
Um,
that's not what I meant at all, but continue.
So why were you waiting for us? What's up with that?
You see she kind of raises her head and kind of looks up towards the sky a little bit and then kind of lowers her head back down and kind of makes eye contact with you all. There's a lot of rules, a lot of procedures involved with what I'm about to ask. And unfortunately, I can't give you all the details. It necessitates that you figure out most of them for yourself, but I have come with a proposition.
And that is-
Follow-up question. You said you were waiting for us. Exactly what do you mean by us?
That's the correct question. Good job. I'm waiting for a group of heroes, someone capable of raising themselves to great strength, someone who can save the world. And you all, well, groups like you have a certain smell. There's a certain sense of determination, a certain whiff of power. And you all have it. The spark.
If you're waiting for a group of people to save the world, why would you decimate a captain who's been protecting for longer than I could even imagine?
Because he would have failed. He wouldn't have been able to take it. He also never would
Take
have made a
what?
deal with me. And that puts him
Also-
at somewhat of a disadvantage.
Let me backtrack just a little bit here. Okay. So, many names. Are you supposed to be some greater entity, or is this some you can't talk about it because it's magic shit, or supposed to be like god shit? 'Cause,
Greater entity, yes. Gods, no. Not quite. Not yet.
Not yet.
Spoilers.
Okay. And heroes or what have you. Don't quite feel like one right now, but
No, but we'll get you there.
what does that have to do with you? And I'm guessing your proposition.
I need a group of heroes. I need someone willing to save the world, willing to go through what it takes to make their realm survive. I need you to find an object, one that can only be found by someone with clear intent and will. Someone who's willing to go through all the necessary trials and tribulations to find it. And when you do, my proposition is simple. I will give you all the power needed to save your world, and I will give you the opportunity to do so. Face me when you find this item, and should you win, your world will be saved. This apocalypse.
So you're building us up as what? A worthy adversary?
In shorter terms, yes, but you will be much more than that. You will have the opportunity to save your world. And I will give you, through certain actions, the power to do so. I will raise you up beyond what you imagine yourself to be. I'll raise you up to be symbols of hope, prosperity for your world. And you will have the opportunity to save it. Fail to do so? Well, you see, she's had her arms kind of folded underneath her chest and stuff the entire time while she's talking, but she lowers her arms and something happens. you see a series of thick, ropey scars that starts at her wrist and her hand and then kind of works its way all the way up to like the sleeve of her dress, all the way up to her shoulders and stuff, and seems to continue down. You see it appear and then kind of disappear. And then it appears again and then kind of disappears. She says, if you do not have the strength to save it, well, then by all means, you will suffer for it. But I'm here to make sure that you do.
So you seem like you're pretty powerful. Like you bitch slap Mr. Magoo into a pile of goo. You seem pretty powerful. Why are you wanting us to do it? Why can't you just do it yourself?
I wish I could tell you the answer to that, and I will with time. There are certain rules we have to follow. Rules beyond
Who
even
is
I.
this we?
We, you, me, us, together. Working
Where's
as
this
one to save your world. To stop these
Oh.
horrors you've been seeing for the past, 2 centuries or more.
But why do you want to save our world? What's in it for you?
Satisfaction.
How are we supposed to trust a word you just said with what you showed us before?
That is another wonderful question. The answer is you probably shouldn't. Not now. But give me the opportunity, the chance to prove myself. If I can't get you the power you require to make sure your world doesn't end, then I will have broken my promise. And trust me when I say that for an entity such as myself, broken promises hold a lot of power, a lot of strength. Agree to join me, agree to just give me the chance now, and I will give you that promise. I will bind myself to that strength. And should I fail, I will be destroyed, but I promise you I will not. Everything I'm saying to you is 100% true. Scout's honor. Kind of raises 2 fingers.
And
Let's
am
see
I
what
to
the
assume
scout
that
count.
if we do not agree to this, you'll just get rid of us and get the
No.
next unfortunate souls?
No, not by any means. It'll be quite some time before another group of yourself arrives. I will do everything in my power to coerce you to do so. I will not harm you yourself, but your city. Astra, was it? You see she takes her hand and waves it in the air. And you see a rift form directly in front of you. This one is white. It's little smoky, wispy edges, and you see on the other side the city of Astra, balanced so precariously on the edge of the cliff. You see she snaps her fingers, and Astra begins to tremble.
Okay, I think that's enough of that. We're still
Wait.
hearing you out.
Are you the one who is opening up these rifts?
I can. I'm not opening up every one of them, but it is within my power. She snaps her fingers, and the earthquake in Astra stops.
So,
Check
like,
it out.
these rifts open up. They started a couple 100 years ago.
A consequence
And
of
you've been
someone
wait-
else's strength, yes. Actions that were necessary to be taken have unfortunately embroiled your existence in that of a greater whole. Those rifts are part of it. That I can
So
tell you.
someone powerful enough opened up these rifts. Do you know?
Are there more entities
Powerful.
like you trying to get people like us?
No. There's no one quite like me.
I can say that. Ooh. Sorry.
She just gives you a snarky smirk. I will say
So-
this, you all don't have very long to decide. that rift disruption device goes off, and we are all screwed.
We have like 2.5 hours. Don't worry. So just to recap, real quick.
Right,
You
we have
want?
maybe an hour.
We said it's fine. You want us to go find something for you, an item of some kind. And then once we get it, we come back to you somehow and give you the item, and that will allow us to save our realm.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there
In
really a moment
so
of
many words.
belief in any of you guys for this?
Huh?
They literally just snapped and opened a rift.
Yeah.
I'm mistaken, but didn't you say we have to fight you? Will we bring back the item?
You can, if you wish. If at the end of our little adventure you think that I am the threat, then by all means you can try, and I will give you the strength to take that opportunity should you wish.
So what is this item you want us to find, and why would finding this item give us the knowledge of what threat are you talking about? The threat that's going to end our world?
That is another wonderful question, and I thank you for asking it. I cannot tell you what the item is, nor what it represents, nor the power it holds, but I can tell you its name. It's called a World Stone.
So you can't tell us what it looks like. You can't tell us where it is, but you know the name of it.
Correct. Again, there are rules we have to follow. They are rules you yourselves can circumvent, if only you knew what the rules were. Unfortunately, I am not at liberty to tell you. Powers beyond myself have set these rules, these procedures, and over time you will learn what they are, and as you learn more information, I can give you more information. That's how our partnership will work.
Well, I, for one, cannot afford to die here. So what is it that we need to do?
It's very
Find the World
simple.
Stone. She just said it.
No, she's talking about giving us power and something about surviving it. So
To find the
what is
Word
all that
Stone,
about?
you will need strength. I will give you that strength. I will set you on a path of trials and tribulations that will test you, but you will be able to survive. Maybe.
So does this mean
Succeed
like you're going to
before-
open up more rifts and like send more shit after us that we have to defeat?
From time to time, perhaps. That may be a
Why
method
can't
of
you do
going
something
around
like-
things.
Why can't you send like 1,000,000 rats at us? That seems like a lot easier than like fighting that big son of a bitch.
Easy is not what we are looking for here. The words are trials and tribulations, not games.
Yeah, bro, we level it with XP or milestone. That's what I need to know.
It's milestone.
If we're busy doing your trials and tribulations, how can we have the time to find this item that you don't even know where it is?
I didn't say I didn't know where it is. I said I
She
couldn't
can't
tell
tell
you.
us.
Then you can write it down since you can't tell us.
I cannot pass along the information. But the information exists. It is possible for you to find it. If you do the necessary work, if you follow the correct path, you will find the World Stone. I will give you the power to reach it. I will make sure that your missions, your threats that you need to face are catered to such a way that you'll be able to make sure you can survive. Do so. Raise yourselves beyond what a normal human, a normal mortal can take. And I will assist you along the way. While doing so, you may search for me. Find my motivations. If you don't trust me, that is fine. I don't expect you to. And if at the end of this you think I am the threat rather than what I represent, or rather than who I am It's too much. Regardless, I'll give you the opportunity to face me, or to face whatever else you wish, and the strength to do so and win. And in the process, your world will be saved. You will not fall to the corruption like kind of gestures around the clearing. Your world will not meet the same fate, nor the fate of countless other realms.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I'm saying fuck it.
Raylith is so conflicted right now. Because on one hand, she's been taught city comes first. Anything to protect the city over our survival. Which in this case, this person is literally a divide on that. They're both literally the threat because they're opening up tears. But also offering the solution, but like there's not really a choice.
It's almost like I put you guys in interesting moral dilemmas for a reason.
I mean, I'm aware of that, but like Raylith is literally just like this isn't a good person. This person shouldn't be allowed to leave here.
So get stronger,
Like,
find the
literally.
World Stone, save the world.
Precisely.
Well,
What do you want with the stone?
That I cannot tell you directly, but it is something you will find in your travels. Again, apologize. I am sorry. But there are certain things I can't tell you and that you must learn for yourselves. It is part of the journey. And that journey is important for multiple reasons.
So you can't tell us
Until you discover for
a
yourselves.
lot of things, but then you could give us power. That's not breaking the rules. Giving us power is not breaking the rules.
Consider it a
But
loophole.
telling us information.
It is an effective one.
Have you told us everything that you can?
To start, yes. I'll be around. I'll be here to pass along more information when you discover it, to explain the things that you will find in context. But you must discover those things in order for me to talk about them. Again, the journey matters here.
Okay. Well,
is this World Stone? Is it in our realm, or is it in any realm?
It is yours.
And was it a thing that someone used to open up these rifts?
All in good time.
And would taking this World Stone, I mean, it's a World Stone, sounds pretty important. Would taking this World Stone out of our realm and giving it to you, a creature of immense power and sexual energy in a different realm, would that destroy our realm?
It will not. In
Okay.
fact, quite the opposite. Leaving the World Stone in your world will perhaps... And you
Is
see,
there just like
you
one
see-
World
you
Stone
see-
for like every world, or is it just like
You
one
see
World
she's-
Stone for like everything?
Yeah, you see that she's actually kind of struggling a little bit, and she goes, Again, I apologize. Discover the nature of a World Stone, and I can tell you more, but until then, I'm afraid I can't.
All right. Well, if I find this World Stone, you can tell me who opened these rifts. You got yourself a deal. I'll spit in my hand and just put my hand out.
Accepted. And you see she reaches down, because, she is quite tall. She reaches down, she takes your hand, brings it up to her mouth, and gives you a little kiss right on the knuckles.
Oh.
For you, at least, our binding is sealed. And you feel a power settle onto your chest. Something rests there in the space between your breastbones, and you feel a connection to this woman. To Min.
Power's growing somewhere.
Oh my fucking god.
I'm a bard. Leave me alone.
Let's not make the podcast super horny, please. No, I'm kidding. You make it as horny as you want to. I made her hot for a reason.
I'm gonna sleep with the origin of fear. It's gonna be great.
Okay. You said you are not going to hurt us directly, but you're going to put things in our path that could probably possibly kill us to help us grow stronger and find out all these things and get all these answers and all right. Fine.
Sealed as well. And she takes your hand and gives you a little kiss on the knuckle. And you feel the same sense of power and connection settle into your chest.
See, power growing somewhere.
I'm
Felt a
gonna
tear
look
go
at
down my
Raylith
leg.
and just say, I don't trust this at all. I'm not comfortable with any of this.
There am I.
Oh, man up, Bucko. You don't really have a choice.
We are working on a limited time.
Take the deal, potentially save the world, or I don't know. She splatters you. Gets the ball back there. I don't know.
Again, I have made the promise not to hurt you directly myself.
It'll be old boy.
If you do not take the deal, then take this one. Give me the opportunity to show you. To prove myself to you. How about that?
No, that doesn't work.
Show it? Wait, you could have just showed us what like your intentions were instead of just like going on and on and on.
Over time, yes.
And say we all take your deal. How are we supposed to get out of here?
Oh, that's easy. I can have you back home in a flash.
And how are we supposed to contact you?
I will contact you when the moment is right. How about that?
And how will we know?
Do you think you can miss this? She kind of gestures to herself.
It's a good point, Zin. It's a good point.
I say yes.
Yes, like you can miss
Yeah.
it, or like.
Yes, Aggie, down boy.
Oh, sorry.
Are you agreeing to the deal? It's a simple question. Ask your two friends. They feel the bond, the connection. Tell me,
Mimi's
I
actually gonna
was
be
to-
like, was there anything around here?
no. If I was to break my promise, I want you two to think about this as hard as you can. Picture it in your mental facilities. If I break my promise to you, what happens to me?
I don't know, because you won't tell us anything.
Well,
Absolutely
Disintegration.
two of them now have a connection, a bond. And as you do, you sense this connection, and you know that this power is the weight of that promise, a connection from soul to soul, bound through some unknowable magic at the moment. And you feel that should that connection be broken, the backlash for breaking that promise would be immense, and it would probably destroy her. It is a promise she is legitimately scared to break, and you feel that through that connection. The origin of fear is scared to break that promise. Why? The reason behind it, the power behind it, whatever that is, you don't understand all that, not just yet, but you feel that sense if you focus on it.
I'm just going to say, if I get the sense, I got a feeling that like she breaks it, like bad shit happens to her. I don't know, some ancient entity giving us unlimited power to a connection, you know,
It is worth noting this
that
promise
she
is
can't
very
break.
one-sided. I am asking nothing of you other than the opportunity to work with me. I'm the one
You're
taking all the risk here.
How you're asking us to go through trials and tribulations to find this stone that you won't tell us where it is. We have no idea. We have to find information on it,
It's not that
and
I
then to bring it
won't,
to you.
it's that I can't. You will understand my subversions eventually. You'll understand my reasonings and why I have to do this. That is another promise I can make. You will know everything by the time this adventure ends. However, I cannot tell you right now. It is beyond my ability.
If we accept this rift closes.
Correct. The rift closes no matter what, to be specific. Your rift disruption devices are quite powerful. They are very well made. Whether you're here or not when that happens, well, that is your choice to make. I will get you home safely.
I think it's easy enough to keep doing what we're doing while having a little extra on the side. She never once said we couldn't continue protecting our city the way we have been.
Correct. In fact, I encourage it.
I'm pretty sure she's going to open up more risks for us to fight things. And the risks are
Within
going to
the
get
city?
harder and harder and harder.
But it comes down to it. If we're busy fighting rifts, we're supposed to be protecting the city. How can we do any sort of investigation to find out where this world stone is?
Well, I don't think we'll be fighting like a rift after rift after rift. I think it would be like a rift and then, you know, a little downtime and then another rift and then another downtime and another rift, you know, that sort of thing.
But we
Are you
can't
going
leave
to
the city.
continue opening the rifts within the city?
I have the ability to open rifts. I do not open all of them. The results of many of these rifts are not me. They are the result of actions beyond my power. I can open rifts. I have that ability. But I am not their cause.
But you do know what the cause is.
Correct.
I do too.
Shut up.
What? She hasn't said anything that disproves what I've been telling you for years.
I'm sure. Her answer is not the same as yours.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
The conspiracy theories coming out.
I will take the offer if you get this creature out of my face. You spoke about trust.
Is that a promise?
There's only one way to find out, right?
She waves her hand and the creature takes several steps back. Doesn't leave.
But he's out of your face.
That's all I asked.
Are you accepting my deal?
I'm sorry, Raylish, but I have to. I have to see where this leads. And I go up. I'm going to extend my hand, but I will nod and say I accept.
Okay.
I
She
don't need
leans.
to
She
sit.
seals it
She
with
leans down and
I-
gives you a kiss on your bald head. Sealed, and you feel this sense of power, and you know, on a personal level, immediately upon sealing that power, you feel the same sense of weight and power kind of settle into the center of your chest, and you know that that bond is unbreakable. Like that, if whoever breaks it will face very serious backlash, and you know that should she break it on her side, you do feel the weight of that promise. The same way that I described earlier. Peer pressure.
I give like a little shudder, like, oh, what was that? And then I'll just tell Rayleigh if I understand. This is the only
I'm
way.
not here to make deals with devils. I'm here to protect it. That is this oath that I made. That is the core of what I am. If what you are suggesting goes against that in any way, no, I'm not working for you, and I will make sure you're taken out if that is the if you were opening these, if you are harming the city, if you get in the way, I will end up like him if it's standing for that cause.
Understood.
If what you say is true, you're going to have to prove that.
And I will, with time.
We'll see then. Just your hand.
Raises your hand, do a small kiss on the knuckles, and the deal is sealed. Now, in just an hour or two here, this realm will cease to exist, thanks to your rift disruption devices. I will get you all home. She waves a hand and you see a rift appear, leading on to the very streets of Astra, the same courtyard where you left. Now, something interesting is happening here, is you can see the rift you entered, this green portal kind of floating in the middle of the park, and you see other members that you would know at least loosely from the Guardian Corps defending it, kind of standing around outside, swords and shields at the ready. You see Torch kind of pacing back and forth, glancing at the rift, waiting for something to happen. You see other members of the Corps who have formed like a perimeter around the park and stuff itself, and this rift opens. No one looks in your direction. There is not a single reaction. I'm a bit more subtle, you would say, than some of my... Well,
You cut out.
well, no, I did that on purpose
Okay.
because,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought you were.
Again, information I cannot give you, but I'm not quite so brash with my magic.
I have another question.
I might have an answer.
This Min. Since you're all powerful and all,
Not
could you bring
all
back
powerful.
like the captain guy? But like you can like wipe his memory so he doesn't remember any of this. But like, can you just bring him back?
I could. Do you wish me to?
And what
Well,
if
we
this
kind
is
of told
cost?
his daughter that we'll find him and like I don't know.
While he may not be someone you believe strong enough, he has been for this city. And if you're wanting the world saved in any way, he's a part of that no matter what. Even if a cog in your head, he's something to these people.
I can do so, and if you tell me to, I will. I will do so with the condition that he cannot know about the deal that we have made. His teachings, his particular brand of action is one that will lead you to ruin. And in the spirit of my promise, I cannot allow that to continue. I will bring him back, but I will take away his ability to fight. He will no longer be a protector. My question is this. Would you rather go out there and tell them that he died a hero, protecting the world, protecting the city, and protecting you? Or would you rather him come back as a doddering old fool? That's what he'll be left as.
We let him die a protector. I don't think he would have preferred the other way.
Priority 2. Survival. We leave him as he is.
So be
Did
it.
he have anything like on him that I could pick up and take to provide to his daughter?
There's not much left, if I'm being honest.
Yo, let me loot the goo.
Well, no, I'm not trying to bring back like a finger, but like found him, but maybe like some type of jewelry or something.
And
that
if you
she
want to
can
go
have.
search through the viscera, you can try.
Nah, it's okay.
Just say we were too late.
We also don't know how much time would have passed if we tried to go back in right now.
For now, be safe, confident in your knowledge that you are doing what it takes to protect your city and beyond. Astra is important, but so is the rest of the world. And you, by the end of this deal, will be able to save it. It will go back to the way things used to be, eventually.
Time to face the music.
I wish you the best, but perhaps you should leave before that thing, and she kind of gestures towards the RDD, takes off.
Out we go.
We said it for like 3 hours, like 30 minutes ago. There's no rush.
Okay, Ike.
Can you pick him up? And then
I
I'll
got
just
you.
walk out.
Hey!
Hoist Aggie back up.
Hey!
Carrying him like a dog again.
I do not consent!
Not walking quick enough for me.
Raylith, are you following?
Yeah, I mean, she'd probably, if we've been teleported out and are like, just no one's noticed we're there yet, she'll slowly walk up to.
The rift is open in front of you. They have not
Okay, so
reacted
she
to a
hasn't brought
rift
us
on their
through it.
side. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll walk through it.
You all step through the portal. Aggie is carried through the and you all end up in the same park that you left from just a little while ago. The series of reactions people notice, they look towards the portal, they look towards you, and everything is confusing. And then you all feel this weight and settled in your chest. You feel a jerking sensation. You each fall unconscious. And that's where you each fall unconscious. And that's where we're going to end our session. So, thank you all very much for watching. I know my cast is very confused right now, and they have no idea how to react, and that's perfectly fine. We can talk about it. If you tuned in, thank you. If you didn't, you have no idea I'm giving you this message, but I appreciate it either way. We will see you all next time here on Once Upon a Tabletop next Monday, 7 p.m. to continue the story, and I hope I've given you all a big enough hook to be interested. even with that being said, stick around. In about 5 or 10 minutes or so, we'll be back for bonus action where we can interact with chat, where we can talk about stuff, where we can answer questions, where we can do all those little things, and you guys can maybe be able to sneak more information out of me. We'll see how that goes. But until then, remember the golden rule: keep it civil, keep it safe. Take care of each other, love each other, and I'll see you all next time. Until then, bye bye. fucking mic is muted. We're back for bonus action.
I heard him in the room. It's like, wait.
So this is the part of the show where we can indeed interact with chat. We'll do some thanking of followers, which we got 2 during this particular stream. We're going to do that at the top. So to ST Frostbite, thank you very much for the follow. We appreciate you. And to Raymorph F something. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say these names. Again, thank you very much. We appreciate it. But yeah, so first episode is done. The first thing we want from you guys, and we'll do for the cast while chat kind of catches up and kind of does their thing.
You're about to ask us how we're feeling.
Cast. Yeah, I need to know. What'd you think? How do you feel? Like, what's do you think it was a good first session?
You introduced him and then was like, Dad, and then said splat.
Yeah.
Why?
It's because he wanted to give us that emotional connection that gets ripped away.
Yeah, I wanted to start off ridiculously hard and introducing a character and giving you guys like one of the things, and you should probably think about it for episode 2 next week. You guys are gonna have to figure out how to deal with that. That's a thing that you're gonna have to do. So
he literally came
Man
in
was
the
a
room.
bully.
He literally came in the room saying, "Some of you will not be here.
yeah,
Possibly next week."
did you think it would be?
And
him?
it was him. I was not thinking it was going to be him. I mean, I wasn't thinking it was going to be one of us necessarily, but like, I was thinking Guardian Corps overall. Like, yeah, because people die all the time doing this kind of shit. But what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm pretty good at setting up some minor foreshadowing and then throwing the twist.
So I do have a question. All
right, bring it.
All right. So the Huntsman Lodge that we found.
Mm-hmm.
Why did time seem specially slow just there?
It's not. It's slowed everywhere. It's been
it's been
about 15
that, like,
minutes.
The footprints looked okay, and then they looked.
Yeah, it's been about 15 minutes and stuff outside. Fun fact: you guys spent a full day in there. The sunrise sunset cycle doesn't work the same way on that world, so
you did mention the sun was up
time.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught that. You mentioned
on the right side.
But you guys were there for quite a while. Like I said, time works a little bit differently in other realms, and I'm gonna play around with that in different ways. But yeah, it's a thing.
It's gonna be weird. Also, the 2 sun things I was actually really worried about. I was like, is this why they're dehydrated? It's overheated here? Like, is water going to be an issue? Is that something we're going to have to worry about? Is this going to be a mechanic? Like, my brain was just going because I was like, I'm scared of you.
So
I've seen stuff you do. I'm scared of you.
Body problem.
So one of the things we can talk about is interesting is these other worlds and stuff that I'm kind of creating for the other realms. I am giving a backstory to each of these for different reasons. And you guys missed the backstory for that because Zen's the only one who checked out the actual cottage. And
He rolled bad.
But there is a story there, and I can tell you guys what that story is if you want me to, or I could reuse it somewhere else.
What I was going to ask.
Yeah, it's the mushrooms. All that dust and stuff inside the house is human skin. They were eaten.
Oh.
Mm.
So right. Body problem. He wasn't
not
kidding.
Want to hear. Okay.
Not a problem.
Yep, they were eaten and then
people jerky. Great.
They were eaten and then shot out as spores. Those mushrooms infect everything in that world, and the mushrooms are dangerous. Pure water is meant to be protected, which is why that fountain and stuff exists.
Seal was there.
Yeah.
You should look. It will not be the first time he's had any kind of shit mechanic in something, Taba.
Fun fact: you guys also are the reason that rune went off. Because Rift Disruption Device disrupts magic. It creates an anti-magic field, and disrupting that rune caused that water. Yeah, it's the whole thing. That we didn't get because you guys didn't.
Where it had to be.
It is, and that's going to be a dilemma that you guys are going to have to face this and that because sometimes to protect your world, you might have to do some things in other worlds that are not particularly great. And that was going to be a thing that you guys would have to face. If you had found enough, you would have found a journal and stuff in there talking about some things that would have explained a little bit more. But yeah, it didn't happen, and that's part of D&D. You don't always have to find everything, but you know.
I mean, hey, we get the cool snippets at least afterwards.
That's what this show is for. That's what bonus action is, bro. That's what we're here to do. Talk about extra stuff. Yeah.
I really like how, as a halfling, I have advantage against the frightened condition, and you're like, it's not frightened, it's terrified.
Terrified.
I wanted to introduce a new
think
mechanic
he's-
specifically
bullshit.
for men, for different reasons, because there's other things that are going to use the terrified condition as well. And I wanted to do something that's not quite full D&D. I want to do my own mechanics and stuff in here. Deal with
That's one
it.
thing he likes to do a lot. Honestly, I think it's kind of neat because it's kind of like the horror games when you have like the insanity meter, but like terrified, like just new condition.
It immediately
done
takes
stuff.
it.
The idea is that like you're frozen in fear, because fear itself, all it does is just give you disadvantage on attacks, and I didn't feel that was strong enough to be what like true fear really is, where the fight or flight response and stuff doesn't kick in, where you just freeze because your brain cannot process and doesn't know what to do. The regular D&D frightened condition doesn't portray that well enough in my head for me to be able to use it the way I wanted to use it. So I created Terrified instead, which is a little bit different.
Oh yeah. Anybody got any questions, concerns?
Yeah, let's hear from chat. Do you guys have any questions about something
Take down
that
the
I said or
chat,
did?
we're
We,
listening now.
yeah, we'll probably need to go ahead and remove that.
Unpin that. We're listening now. We're here.
Yeah. Where do I click the unpin at? What happens here?
It's weird, Taba, and I was really upset because I kept killing things on one hit, and I
There
had
we go.
action surge. So like the plan for the big dude was 100% get that first hit in, and then use action surge to like use my ability off of Vex, which is like I get advantage on the second strike if it's in the same turn. I was really pissed off that I couldn't get that at all. I was like, ah, fuck my advantage. Fuck this shit.
I kind of like the 2024 rules. I was looking at a bunch of stuff like, yeah, specifically with the weapon masteries. So it was interesting because we were talking about it before the show. I was going over Zin's character sheet, Stevens, and we were talking about how it's interesting. Monk doesn't get weapon masteries. And then I was thinking about stuff, and it's like, okay, so looking at weapon masteries, look at Cleave, for example, on great axes that Mimi's using. It gives them a second attack because they can then make a second attack with part of the same action and stuff. And Vex kind of works the same way. Monks don't need extra attacks because they get like the offhand strike and stuff. So they didn't give the extra attack to monks for weapon masteries and stuff. And it's funny because like what it does is it front loads more power to low levels for characters, and then that kind of continues to higher levels and stuff as well. And it's interesting because I'm used to like level 1, level 2, level 3 being kind of like sloggy and scared to like throw in high end monsters and stuff at low level characters because I'm afraid for a TPK. And I don't really have to worry about that because like low level characters are a lot stronger in 2024 than they are in the regular 5e rules, like by a long shot. It's interesting, and I don't mind it.
But it's also like it's more people play lower levels of D&D than they do higher levels, just because campaigns don't typically last to the higher levels.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like there aren't a lot of level 20 campaigns, like as far as like official modules and stuff are written. I think there's only 2, right? Tyranny of Dragons, the second half, and then Eve of Ruin. I think everything else ends at like 12.
You have the Mad Mage.
Okay, well,
Something
okay, yeah,
that's 20.
Dungeon of the Mad Mage, but that's also very different even in the context. I wouldn't
Yeah.
even consider that a campaign. That's just a ridiculously big dungeon crawl. You know what I mean? Like that is much more combat centric, I guess, than like everything else D&D does. So,
Yeah, but like most of the campaigns they put out either end at like level 12, like between 12 and 15.
yeah.
If they even go up that high.
Yeah, so they definitely, like I said, they shifted a lot of the power down to lower levels, and it makes sense when you put it in that context, yeah, because like people don't play at high levels unless it's for like one shots and stuff, so that kind of makes sense. I like it. Some of the spells are still a little bit weird, and I'm still getting used to some of them. But yeah, no, it's solid. I don't mind the 2024 rules. So
if you look at counter spell, they've completely nerfed counter spell to the point where it's a fairly useless spell, especially at higher levels.
that is
Because
crazy.
instead of like you rolling to like dispel a spell, they now roll against your DC, your spell DC.
Oh. And considering
So when
high-end
you,
monsters especially probably have like insane, especially if they're a spellcasting monster, they have pretty high modifiers and stuff. So
yeah,
yeah, I can
and
see
even
that.
at like level 20, like you might have a spell DC of like something like 22 or something, but a monster has like a
Like
a
plus
lich or
10,
something
plus
has like a
12.
plus
Yeah.
10. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty ridiculous. Now I kind of want to put more spellcasters in. No, I'm kidding.
There's
Just 'cause
only
I know you
me.
guys can't. I was talking about monsters since I know you guys can't counterspell everything.
Please don't.
You and your 2 damage.
You talking to me?
Yes.
What about me?
You're
I'm not a frontline damage dealing caster.
I
Mostly
shrug.
because we have 3 melee characters and no one to back them up.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mowgli's just playing smart.
You're
That we should have put in for potions.
I asked
have
for 300 feet of rope.
It's a lot of rope, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, where's my pan flute coming in?
We'll
Why
get
are
there.
You're gonna have
you
to
stepping
ask-
into my territory?
Territory.
Like, why are you doing this to me? I already have a flute.
Yeah, but mine is pan.
Oh my god.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. It was something in the character sheet. I was forced to get a musical instrument.
You gotta get a musical instruments of like a tool set.
Mm-hmm. Because
Oh, wait,
everything
I
is
need-
rations, so it's not like I need cooking supplies or anything.
I need some thieves' tools.
No, you can requisition stuff, but yeah, like I kind of want to know what you guys like think of me setting up the story and stuff. Like, how did y'all feel about like setting up the arc? Because I was kind of worried. I was thinking about doing the kind of classic thing of setting up the arc over time and then setting it like so that you guys kind of learn like what you're working against and stuff later on, like after 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 episodes. But on the other hand, I was like, man, I kind of want to introduce Min like immediately and then set you guys up for like an explosion basically at the start of the campaign. Like, just get straight into the fucking meat of it. And I want to know what you guys thought of that. Like, did you enjoy it? Did you like,
I like
are
it
you
'cause I'm
invested
stupid.
or fair?
So getting, a good chunk of it out of the way and being like, oh, can't tell you. Haha, you gotta figure it out. It's like, okay, I'm looking for things. Got it. I feel less stupid,
Oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna take that as a compliment. I don't know if it is or not.
It is. It works for someone like me who's I play this type of character for a reason. I'm not very good at coming up with plans. I mean, I can come up with a lot of things. It's not very good, and I will overlook a lot of things, especially if I'm like, I can fight that over there. You can handle textbook shit over here. So,
Fair, yeah.
I think the only thing that makes it a little rough is my little overthinkers here.
Look
Again,
here.
I'm
It's
stupid.
literally something that would over. Yes,
I
like-
was trying to get information that's related to Aggie, and I was
See,
trying
but
to
we
like
kept
ask
getting-
things
we
without
can't. That's the thing.
I just wanted to know some answers that like
Can I just hold
feed
on?
into my beliefs, and well, guess what? It didn't dissuade my beliefs.
Can I just? These are my notes. All right. So, these are how my fucking notes work. In the beginning,
Beginning.
in the beginning, whatever, where we're at, blah blah blah. Oh, where is it? Yeah. half of this doesn't make sense. Says 3 hours to set time frame.
Very good
Waiting
notes.
for us as whole. Why was she waiting? There's a lot of rules and a lot of procedure.
Oh, bless your heart.
I was writing down what you said as it was going, so it's just, hold on. Cannot tell us what she wants with the stone. We will find out in our travels. World stone in realm. Must discover nature. Like, it's just typed out, almost paraphrasing, because again, I'm dumb. I can't be like,
no.
ah,
See, paraphrasing
this
is what
this
Mowgli
thing.
did when he was handed a script. I don't know what
Facts.
that.
Hey.
That was a
That
new
was
script.
hey.
That was
that
a
was
new
the shortest
script.
shorthand. That was like, all right,
Yeah.
2 words, 2 words.
Yeah, she mastering the shorthand over here. Taba says, I enjoyed them being asked questions, and it was like listening to school project presentations where they just stand there silent. Yeah, no, that happened a good bit. I would be like, okay, so what are you doing? And there'd be like a kind of moment for you guys. I gotta ask, like, are you guys like kind of nervous being on screen and like doing this in front of people? Like, is that something you
No.
guys think you
Definitely
can push
different.
past? Yeah.
I don't think that's the issue for me. I think it's getting more comfortable with what I'm doing. I've done it in the past, but I've also done so many different variations, if you will, where it's played in different ways with different outcomes and things like that. So, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. And
Sorry, it sounds like a tornado is flying through the house right now. Anyways,
Okay.
I wish I could tell you. I don't know either. But yeah, I think once I get comfortable with that, and which again, you would think playing a barbarian, it's like, aha! But I want to play my barbarian a little differently than I have in the past, and so yeah,
Yeah.
just getting
works.
comfortable.
I think it's definitely also like getting used to the new rules because it's like out of what I've played for the past like 10-ish years.
Yeah.
So just getting used to it and like because I realize like I have savage attack and that's like I think 1 attack per turn or it might be every attack. But it's definitely
Toma,
at
what's
least
the
1
girl
attack per
what
turn.
for?
Where the girl what was when your notes.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
Um,
question it.
Yeah,
The most detailed notes.
yeah, just looking at the like thing and being like, oh shit, I could have rerolled damage and made that more because I can roll my damage twice and then choose which one I want. So
Yeah, reading.
and it just says damage. It doesn't say specific damage from like a certain thing. It's just the attack.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, reading over the character sheet and getting used to it and stuff. It definitely can take time. There have been times when I've played campaigns for like fucking like months and then went, hey, I've had this ability since level 3 and I've just completely forgotten it existed. And technically, right, like it happens a lot. There's a lot to keep track of, especially with D&D, and especially if you're not familiar with like the changes from D&D 5e to 2024. It takes a little bit of getting used to. But that's also like if you think about like low level characters and then kind of moving into higher level characters and the way they get more powerful and stuff, it's not all just new abilities and like extra stat points and stuff like that. It is also getting more familiar with your character and learning how to interact and deal with certain situations with your character sheet. You see what I'm saying? Like you get powerful not only because you level up, but because you as a player get more experience as you kind of play more and stuff. So it's really neat.
And I think with a lot of
it's
like
definitely useful.
silence right now, especially in first part of this campaign or for this first episode, is they're new characters for us in a new setting. New things are going on, so we're trying to get into the headspace of the characters and figuring out what they would do in certain circumstances and taking the information Shane has given us and try to like figure out what to do, because we may know a little bit more about the setting and everything than people in chat, but like we're still kind
still
of
pretty fresh.
unfamiliar with like what's going on.
Yeah. You guys are learning stuff like just as much as they are and stuff, so it takes a little bit of
This
time to
mother-
process.
Phew. Hold on. Where does it? It's here, I think. Yeah.
You're
No.
pointing at the poster?
Where is he at?
Who are you pointing
Yeah.
at?
Shade. Okay.
Me.
This motherfucker over here. Yeah. So he said don't get in trouble, and I'm like, okay, someone said don't get in trouble, and then later they were like, yeah, the big, and I'm like, the big guy.
Yeah. That is the thing I like to do, is kind of like spring stuff on you. It keeps you like, what's the word? It keeps you thinking, keeps you invested. You know what I mean? When I do stuff like that. And I wanted to do that for Sammy in particular, just because I thought it was funny. Be like, oh yeah, by the way, the Colonel, the big guy, the leader of the Guardian Corps, is paying very close attention to you. Surprise.
Which is a why. Anyways, sorry, had to flip out about that a little bit now that I can.
What's really funny is I'm pretty sure if Aggie realized that, or like knows kind of, hey, why is this guy keeping very close attention on this chick? Like, he's going to get very invested in that.
It's okay. Right now, he's only worried about muscle mommy, and that's enough.
Muscle
Hey,
mommy and
he has a
sold my
type.
soul to this lady.
Yep.
uh,
So I know that
Courtney, I was going to be like death by snoo for you, but like that's getting you to weird territory there.
So that's another good point I want to bring up is I have introduced, I wouldn't necessarily say the villain of the story, very minor spoilers here and stuff, because I did kind of tease that like things might be kind of beyond what you or she is really capable of. But I've introduced sort of the antagonist for the story from the get. What did you guys think of Min? How do you feel about her?
Smash.
Oh no, she's hot.
Straight
She
from-
is. She has to be, right?
A hot
She
and
straight
scary.
reminds me of the what's her face from Wheel of Time, the Forsaken chick, the hot one.
Fair, yeah. No, that's
The hot one.
That's a good
One.
you
Lanfear.
gave me Red Girl PTSD, and I don't appreciate it. Red Girl. I don't know what Red Girl is. I was my specific. Have you guys seen? I forget exactly what I think it's just called Red. But it's on Netflix. It has Gal Gadot in it.
Movie?
And
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds. A Red Girl from Near. Yeah. Okay. Kind of. I can see that. She was like almost my direct inspiration though. Was Gal Gadot from the movie with Ryan Reynolds, and I think The Rock was in it. I was like,
Yeah.
something about that like ridiculously attractive, but also very aloof kind of character would make for a really good villain. In that like more cerebral way rather than being visceral. Like I could put up like something like a Death Knight and make him big and intimidating and scary and skull and kind of all this stuff. And I was like, but no, like a normal person who's just attractive and really smart could be an incredible villain. And I kind of want to do that. And I was like, yeah, so I'll just make her Gal Gadot. Like that's it. That's what I'm gonna do.
I mean, all I was thinking was just Lanfear. That's all I was thinking. I was
yeah,
yep,
no,
this is Lanfear.
Lanfear works.
Yep.
I don't think I've seen Lanfear in the live action the Wheel of Time, but I remember her from the book. And yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a really good, really good, representation. Like it. Are you guys? I'm trying to think of how to word this without kind of spoiling stuff. How do you guys feel about the mystery and the mystery behind the mystery of what she was talking about?
Bro, my brain hurts.
I wanted to punch her.
Raylith's brain hurts. Raylith's like, you're literally asking me to not try to fight a thing that's like obviously not good, that can like open rifts, cause all this damage and stuff. Like, this is a threat, but also make a deal with this to try to stop something else. Like, it's kind of fuckery in both sections.
I
Weird.
do have a question though. If one of us would have attacked, mostly like me, because I was ready. Would have been an insta kill, that I would have had to come up with another character?
No, if you had attacked her,
She
she
said she
did
couldn't hurt
promise.
us
Yeah, she did promise that she wouldn't hurt
directly.
you. And she would have sent the Draconian Dreadnought after you guys. And that is a fight you guys could technically win. And she would use that knowledge that you guys, are strong and can work together and stuff. That would have went down a different path, to making the deal and stuff. Or I hope it would have. But it's she would not fight you directly. She has her own motivations, and you guys are a part of that. I will say this: everything I was saying in character is true. She wants to work together with you. She does have her own reasons for doing so, and you guys will discover them. And now that I've introduced her, I really like doing stories where not everyone is like necessarily
gray
good
area.
or evil. Yeah, like there are things that you may find yourself agreeing when you start getting into the meat of the story and why she's here and kind of what's going on and beyond, the scope of what you currently know and stuff like that. And I love doing that kind of moral dilemma thing. I want to make you think about the decisions that you're doing. So if you guys had explored the cottage more and learned the history behind the fountain there and kind of what it is and the idea of, having to do something terrible to this world that could have saved it, but in order to do that, to protect your own, so on and so forth, and putting those kind of dilemma stuff in front of you, there's going to be a lot of that in this game. There's going to be a lot of stuff that makes you think and question and like dig into like your character and yourself on what decisions and stuff. Yeah, what's up? What
Are you raising your hand, Sammy?
I don't want to
you're peeking all over the place. What do you
But
want?
all over the place, yeah.
I'm raising my hand. I didn't want to interrupt. I do have to go.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
It's gonna
Goodbye,
mess
everyone.
Up, it's gonna mess up the cameras.
I know. Fuck your cameras. Everyone is gonna be everyone else.
Yeah, no,
But-
I think it's gonna do
Probably
more than that.
Sammy,
It's gonna
Mowgli will be Steven.
twist everything on the cameras.
But thank you everyone for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye, but I will see y'all, next Monday.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Cameras are gonna go very wonky when pretty sure we're
Hi,
gonna see
Sally.
half of some people in some areas. And oh yeah, that's great.
Oh,
for some reason,
oh.
Courtney's perfectly fine.
Because I was in front.
That's pretty loud. But yeah, we're not getting a ton of questions and stuff from chat anyway. And I think we've talked about everything that I kind of wanted to talk about. Unless you guys have any specific questions or anything that you want to ask or anything like that, I think we can probably call this. I got your thoughts on things. We kind of talked about, filming this live and doing some stuff, and we've got some comments and stuff.
Yeah, I just worry that my background likes to pick up. So when you see me like look in another direction, that's where the noise is coming from. So I have to look to see if, oh gosh, just pick it up on the mic.
Nah, you're fine. Even if it does, we're good.
If you can't tell, I like to wander.
Yeah. Like to wander. All right,
I was doing a lot of wandering.
It's fine. But yeah, so that is the show. We're gonna go ahead and call it here. I think we'll be back next week, next Monday at 7 p.m. for episode 2, and we'll see the consequences of some of the choices they made and figure out exactly what's going on. And we're gonna kind of open up the world a little bit and start doing some stuff, I think. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you, and we will see you next time. Until then, take care. Be careful out. The world's pretty wild right now, and we guys want to see. We want to see you guys safe and sound back here next week to enjoy more D&D, more escapism. You know how it is. But see you next time. Till then, bye-bye.
Bye.